London's burning! London's burning! London's burning with boredom, baby! London's burning down, 99999! London's burning with boredom, baby! London's burning down, 9999! All across the town, all across the night, everybody's driving with four headlights. Black or white, you turn it on your face, a new religion. Everybody's sitting round watching television. London burns. London burns down. Na 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 na. London's burning with the border flame. London's burning. 999. Up and down the westway, in and out the light. Great traffic system is so bright. I can't think of a better way to spend the night. Spinning around underneath the yellow light. London's burning with bottom beat. London's burning. Na 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 na. London's burning down. Bottom beat. London's burning down. Na 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 na. Now I'm in the subway and I'm looking for the flat. This one is the fish box. This one leaves the flat. I went down through the empty block looking for a home. I run through the empty stone 'cause I'm all alone. London's burning. London's burning down. Na 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 na. London's burning. Bottom beat. London's burning. Na 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 na.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and outside. Blue his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette. And everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around. 'Cause he ain't got nobody to listen to. I'm blue. With a blue window. Blue is the color of all that I wear. Blue are the streets and all the trees are too. I have a girlfriend and she is so blue. Blue are the people here that walk around. Blue like my car that it's standing outside. Blue are the words I say and what I think. Blue are the feelings that live inside me.
person said that about your lovable, wonderful towel. I think I want to play a song while that tweet is up on the screen, because you know what? I was raised in a beautiful country called the United States of America. I want to dedicate this to, let's see, Kate Peter and Tuesday Gazette and Julie Carpenter and Ginny James, and then let's see, any other person on Kate Peters' Discord. Oh, Jason Broyles, he's a weird one. And then, you know, not Biff and Boomer. They're gonna flip, you know. Biff and Boomer flipped. Federal indictments are imminent. But, you know, everyone else that is Kate Peters' friend. I have a message to you and your Shrek-based odd cult leader. Okay, ready? Let's do it.
For you and you and you, I hate your friends and they hate me too. I'm through. This that hot girl by my anthem, turn it up and throw attention. This that hot girl by my anthem, turn it up and throw attention. This that throw up in your Birkin bag, hooked up with someone random. This that social awkward suicide, that violation, swear she had a liver, shit hit to the winner's face and acting. All this stuff from you for you to do. My friends are all annoying. And they hate me too.
Hi! How you doing? I didn't see you there. How have you been? My name's Grant Smith Ellis. It's so good to see you. What a relaxed and calm Sunday evening. I feel like, you know, sit around, turn on the Bundys, watch MASH, have a relaxing afternoon, decompress. There isn't too much going on in the world. I saw an airplane today. That was nice. That was about the peak of my day. How have you all been? Did I do a good job there? Look at me. I can be a composed towel news reader when the time calls for it. Sit down with my newspaper, sit around the fire, watch some kind of moving picture on the box there, whatever you humans do to relax. I don't really know how to do that. So anyway, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Welcome to Towel News. It's about 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, here in a very balmy 71 degree Fahrenheit, Boston, Massachusetts. It is Sunday, August 23rd, 2026. And we do have something to talk about. Now, you might be saying to yourself, Grant, you were going to get some rest this weekend. Did you go through 3,000 pages of Epstein file documents by hand to track every phone call that Jeffrey Epstein made to Massachusetts? And then did you cross-reference all those cell phone numbers with all of the people who Jeffrey Epstein called? And then were you going to show us your work? And also, did you publish a book? Yes, I did those things. And then, Grant, was there somehow, with all of that going on, was there something that happened that compelled you to go live for only a few hours? I'm not staying live past 9 p.m. Not only because, you know, TurtleBoy's going to do TurtleBoy things. I'm not doing that. I'm tired. So you get me for 3 hours of being ridiculous, all right? So everybody strap in, grab your popcorn, tell Kofi the dog to run around in circles, and then jump on the couch. And Bunny shall not take no for an answer regarding Kofi sitting on the couch. All right? I've issued my edict. That is what the law shall be. All right, excellent. So here's the deal. You saw it during the intro. I mean, I can repeat the headline, but I think you all know the headline. All right? British reporter towel. Would you read this for me? And I will read the @ symbols. Go ahead.
Conversation.
What did Greg Connor know
about Jonathan Daigle's past work with New Grange Consulting and his connection to James McGee and Jeffrey Epstein? And why did Connor choose him to serve as his campaign treasurer? Greg Connor's campaign treasurer is Jonathan Daigle. Daigle listed his employer as New Grange Consulting on this 2011 campaign contribution. Source: New Grange Consulting was the consultant firm used by Jeffrey Epstein. Jim McGee was the owner. Source: There are emails in the DOJ Epstein files from Epstein to Jim McGee, and Jonathan Daigle is CC'd. Here are the file numbers of the Epstein emails in which Daigle was a recipient. Source.
And that's it. Tight, compact, proven. Game over. That's an October surprise. Do you know what an October surprise is? First of all, I don't know where this came from. I know who posted it on the Facebook group. I don't know who found this. I'm pretty good at what I do. I didn't find this. Okay? This is a boss move, and somebody saved this till the week before the election, because whatever happens on Monday before the election sets the tone for the whole lead up of the week. Not to mention the Rosemary Scapicchio hearing on Thursday with Lally and Lynn Beatty and Proctor and Tully and God knows who else she's going to pull out of the hat. This is called an October surprise. It's where you give the other campaign no opportunity to react. I don't know who the hell dropped this or where they got it from. I'm the best at what I do, I like to think, when it comes to these kind of files. Somebody outclassed me today. Absolutely put me to shame. They ended Greg Connor's campaign. This is absolutely 100% confirmed. That is, I went to the DOJ file itself to make sure, which is EFTA 019999413. All right? There it is. Now, there's also another series of emails that show McGee setting up the email. This was after Epstein was a registered sex offender, mind you. And you might be saying, okay, so Jonathan D.A is on the email chain with his boss, Jim McGee, right? And then they run a company called New Grange. By the way, the Abbey Grange was like a progressive political movement in the 1880s that won a few seats in Illinois, actually won a few presidential electors in Illinois, won a few House seats, but then kind of collapsed. It morphed into the Free Silver movement of 1896. These are people, if you call your shit the New Grange, you think way too much of yourself. Okay? So anyway, the point is, like, you're the type of guy that I would go up to at a bar and, like, just rail you on American history, and then just be like, how about them fucking apples? And then make you think you're in a movie, and then just leave. I don't even want the girl. Just, I gotta go. So anyway, the point is, there you go. All right, that's a business address. This is the company. It links the treasurer of Greg Connor's campaign, who is Jonathan D.A, to Jeffrey Epstein directly. Not indirectly, directly. That is a direct link between Jeffrey Epstein and the Greg Connor campaign. And you might be saying, but Grant, normally when we do this, it requires, like, you have to, like, pull up 4 corporate records, and you got to show us, like, this guy lived at this address, and is it really, like, that's it? That's a nail in the coffin. Yeah, that's a nail in the coffin. That's not even a story. That's 3 documents. It takes 3 sentences. It's over. And that's it. That's it. I mean, we'll go over other stuff, but that's it. That's the... And you might be like, oh my God, it's that direct? Yes, it's that direct. That's it. Greg Connor's campaign treasurer has a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein after he was a registered sex offender in the files. And there's no denying it. You can't argue about it. You can't object to it. You can't debate it. You can't convolute it. There's no multiple connections that have to be made. It is a first-degree connection directly between Greg Connor's campaign treasurer and Jeffrey Epstein. Yep. And that's it. That ends the Norfolk D.A. race. Whoever dropped this is a monster. They're so boss. Bro, they were like, Grant, you're good, but let me just show you a thing or two, kid. Like, you want it? Come on, kid. Like, put the nail in the coffin. Come on. This is very... You must understand how impressive this is. This is the kind of thing that I did not find. It's a dagger. It's a legit dagger. What did Clayton John say? Were they mean? How is it that? No, I don't think that was a. I don't think that was a. I don't think that was a bad thing. I think it was just misinterpreted. They're okay. I think they were just making a political point. I saw it was a little hard to read the grammar, but they're fine. In the chat. So anyway, my point is that's the lead. All right, it will be. I mean, go ahead, try to ignore this. You can't. You can't. He has to resign. The campaign treasurer. You cannot. You can't be like, well, you know, I just wanted to help him out. I didn't know he was a sex offender. You didn't know? You didn't look up whether he was a sex offender? And you want to help run the campaign for Norfolk D.A.? Nope. Game over. He won't make it 24 hours. Neither of them will. Frankly, Connor probably, if he had any integrity, he would end his campaign. Because it's embarrassing. You think anyone's going to go in and vote for a campaign that's directly connected to Jeffrey Epstein? Are you out of your mind? Somebody saved this Connor knew. And I think the treasurer knew too. And they were like, well, nobody found it. Grant didn't find it. So, is voting only in person? No. Massachusetts has, you got to look up, go to adamdeitch.com or any other resource. You can find the information. There are multiple ways to vote here. You got to look at, I'm not going to even try to go through the rules and the timeline. There's all these different rules. Just follow the online instructions. If you have questions, just go, don't vote till voting day. Don't try to guess and whatever. Go on to the polls on the day of the vote if you're in Norfolk County, September 1st, and just cast your ballot. Do what you got to do, get a ballot, cast it. Okay? Now, important, something very important. If you are in Norfolk County, if you are unenrolled and you want a Democratic ballot, which you are entitled to, you must ask for a Democratic ballot. If they give you a Republican ballot, you cannot give it back. You can only vote for Adam Deitch if you get a Democratic ballot. So if you are unenrolled, you must at the poll say, I want a Democratic primary ballot. If they give you by mistake a Republican one, you can't say you made a mistake and give it back. Just don't take it. Tell them you want a Democratic ballot. Once you take it, you can't give it back. That rule I do know is hard and fast. You cannot get around that rule. Do not take the ballot if it's not the right ballot. And you can only vote for Deitch if you are a Democrat. All right? Excuse me. Or unenrolled. Remember, if you're unenrolled, you can also vote for Deitch, but you must ask for that Democratic ballot. Now, setting aside the actual mechanism of voting, here's why this is a big deal. Every other kind of connection, like somebody owned a company that leased real estate from a company owned by Epstein. Not enough. Somebody owned, had a holding company that did business with one of Epstein's companies, even if it were direct business, not a traditional top of the hour flame drop. It could be some underling, it could be some sort of secretary. You can just plausibly deny that you knew about it. You cannot deny when your email is... Give her a little bit of time to reset. All right. You cannot deny it. It's different than everything else in politics. Most people don't let this happen. It's very rare that something like this happens so late in a campaign. Very rare. Because it's, what do you okay, you throw them off the campaign. There's 7 days until the election. 9 days. You let them stay on until 9 days before the election? No one's going to think at the ballot box, oh, Greg Connor's the guy that kicked the Epstein guy off his campaign. People are going to be like, Greg Connor's the guy who had the Epstein guy on his campaign. And he was already facing an absolutely intense uphill battle. If I had to guess, it was like polling like 60-30. maybe 55-30 with some like weird, like maybe 60-30, 60-25, etc. with some vote splitting for the smaller candidates. This will cut 15% of his vote easily overnight. People read those groups. This will very quickly spread, and it's not hard to understand. That's why this is why this is what's called an October surprise. It's a it's a one-sentence headline. Greg Connor's campaign directly connected to Jeffrey Epstein. If you want to include campaign treasurer, you can, but it's the same. You know how good you have to be to have this? You got to be really good. Like one of the best. I'm impressed. Oh, honestly, I'm impressed. I've done some good work in my time. Some really good work. That is, you see how compact it is? How easy it is for a voter to understand? That's like what a prosecutor would present to a grand jury to get an indictment. Wink is as good as a nod to a blind man. So, that's how I feel about this. It is actually a October surprise. It's a term that exists in politics. I haven't used it about this election so far. I said there could be one, because of course that's politics. I didn't know there was gonna be one. We were getting a little late. A traditional October surprise, the elections, and the word October surprise, for those of you who are just learning it, which of course I'm happy to teach you. The term October surprise refers to releasing a bombshell election scandal 1 month before, or 2 weeks to 4 weeks before the general election, in a presidential election. That's the traditional term. This, oh God, this is tailor-made for this election. It's one election cycle. It's one news cycle, 1 week, and it ends the seriously, it ends the campaign. It's something that the media will eat up. I don't know who's going to catch it first. Probably Channel 7, Channel 10, Fox. One of them will catch it. It's big. And you might say, well, yeah, but will it permeate? Oh, yeah. News cycles are about a week. It takes about a week. I said, now here's what's funny. I said it takes about 14 days the other day, which is true. Like for a general, like complex political issue to permeate, like someone is like doing something wrong and you got to build up the evidence, and that takes like 2 weeks to actually reflect in the polls. This is a flashbang. This is like a grenade. They like throw the fucking thing and just run away from it. That's epic. If this is what Deitch is going to be like as a prosecutor, oh my God, we're in for a treat. If he's better than me, they're in a lot of fucking trouble. I'm good. I'm not going to be fake humble. I think that's stupid. I'm good. I'm not that good. I'm telling you, whoever did this is really, 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 like, ruthless. Ruthless. And I think I have an idea who found it. You always have to have a little plausible deniability when you go for the kill. But, oh my God, that is a fucking... For 10 years I will be talking about this week. It all led up to this too. Dude, they knew. Deitch knew. Deitch knew. He knew it was Epstein. Imagine if he charges that. Dude, he's got the balls to do it too. Hello, coffee girl. Whoa, Water Under the Fridge is back from their birthday hiatus. I hope you had a wonderful time. You came in on just the right time. See, it was Water Under the Fridge's birthday, and all is right with the world. You are a towel. Nightbot is #1. You are a birthday celebratory towel, if you all don't know. Water Under the Fridge just had their birthday the other day, and they came in and celebrated with us for a few minutes. That was great. God bless you, Water Under the Fridge. It wouldn't let me reply to your comment. I don't know why. I think because you used the middle finger. Marcia, my friend, good to see you. And Rubinate, oh, it's so good to see you. 3 Clerk Monty. We all the town friends are here. It's wonderful to see you all. To those of you who I didn't get to say hi to earlier, it is very good to see you. So let me pick up where I left off. So if you were watching the stream the other day, you're probably like, but Grant, you said like it would take 14 days. Well, yeah, normally, not when the story is packaged in like 7 words. Quite literally, Greg Connor's campaign directly tied to Jeffrey Epstein, that doesn't take 14 days. That takes like 2 hours. Because everybody already knew. They could tell with Amelia's and with the Michalakis plea and with Morrissey and Marina Bay and O'Connell and Tully and Fanning and Farwell and Devine and God help us all. All right? Everybody already knew. Okay? Wait till I tell you about what happened earlier today. Do you know what happened today? I can't even tell you. I called a woman who was almost 90. And I had to do it, though. And I was like, ma'am, it was one of those, like, reporter moments. I was like, ma'am, was your phone number, like, XXXXXXXXX in, like, 2006? And she was like, that sounds familiar. And I was like, oh, does it? And then the daughter was like, no, wait a minute. That's actually not the right number. 2 of those digits are switched. And this was like a very like high-ranking person who's since deceased. And I'm talking to like their widow and their daughter. And it's like Sunday morning at like, I don't know, 10 in the morning. The daughter is like, okay, so just read the number to me one more time. I read out the number. And she's like, oh, thank God. And then she reads me out what their actual number was when these people were in the Quincy area. And she's like, it's not the right number. And I was like, yep, you're right. I'm ruling them out. And she was like, and you didn't publish this? I was like, no. I called you. I had to rule it out. I had to rule you in or out. Well, not her parents. And she was like, oh, thank you so much. And I was like, I hope I didn't disturb your morning. She was like, no, that was very good of you to call. Thank you. And then I just hung up and went on my day. It was fascinating. I was like, okay. So, yeah, that was a very, very interesting call. I'll tell you about that in a second, though. That was before this broke. This broke 10 minutes ago. And I know a lot of you are probably expecting, like, this deep, like, complex sort of, traditional towel style, like, probe where we go for an hour and a half and then all of a sudden it all comes together and you see, like, one document where, like, this name you learned along the way connects to this other name and then everybody's... Nope. That was the story. It's 7 words. Greg Connor's campaign treasurer is directly connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Period. Full stop. Send it. So, I mean, I can keep repeating it, but that's the news. And there's other stuff I would like to explain to you about what I found today. It's very interesting, actually. And I prepared this cool document that has all the phone numbers redacted, so I can just show you the research I did today. It took a long time. It's like 50,000 words. Hello, Tao Laura. Hello, Rocco's Life. Hello, Elizabeth. It's so good to see you all. Nicole, it's so good to see you. Exactly. Yeah, I remember the Canton police audit by Five Stones being like, there's no evidence of racist policing in Canton. Sean Good, he runs the Underground Railroad. Tao, did you tune in? Was she literally running around while singing? Yeah, it was hilarious. All right? So, yeah, I can't help but be sardonic. Kevin from South Boston says, talk to Boozy, Aunt Bev, and Cosgrove connection. Let's see. Talk to Boozy, Aunt Bev, and Cosgrove connection. Oh! I was like, wait a minute. There's a connection between the Queen of France, Robert Cosgrove, and Judge Canoni? Oh, no! The Queen of France was a spy! But she's the one who figured it out, thus proving she's not a spy. Unless she's like some type of triple agent. All right. She's actually working for the French. I knew it. I'm going to have to turn her, make her a quadruple agent. No, I'll definitely take a look at that Kevin from South Boston. I have no doubt that there is Cosgrove was a justice of the Norfolk Superior Court. He was on the King case. He heard a search warrant. He actually heard a Dobert Lonigan Fifth Amendment issue during the grand jury in the King case. Oh, Nicole, God bless you. That's so kind of you. Thank you for supporting Towel Channel. We are just charging towards our towel goal tonight. You are all wonderful. It's only a short stream, though. I told you I'm going till 9 p.m. at most. All right? Not just because, TurtleBoy's going to do his TurtleBoy thing, but also, and I want you to see what he has to say, etc., but also because I can't stay up late every night. It makes me very tired. But anyway, it's good to see you all. And that's the headline. All right? So take it. Spread it amongst the people of the world. Let the people know. Okay? Let the good people know. Let the bad people know. Generally, let people know. All right? And let it permeate like a butterfly flapping its wings in Boston, causing a tsunami in Hokkaido. All right? That's your job. Go forth. Spread the word. You know what to do. You have the documents. They're all right there. It's the easiest thing in the world to explain to people when they say, wait a minute, that Jeffrey Epstein, yes. That Greg Conner, yes. His campaign treasurer, yes. Connected to Jeffrey Epstein directly, yes. That's it. And then they're going to be like, wait, what? You're going to be like, yeah, And they're going to be like, wait, that guy Graham was right? You're going to be like, yeah, he's a towel. People are going to be a little confused. Listen, we all have to have a talk, okay? I want everyone to gather around, and we have to have a talk. At some point, okay, I don't know exactly why, and I'm not going to ask too many questions. Someone who I really love dearly and respect clearly made a decision that, the public wasn't going to move on the Epstein stuff unless they gave the public something to chew on. And I think they picked Norfolk County. Now, I did kind of suggest this because I think Mr. President's really cool and I like him. And so I was like, Mr. President, I didn't say it to him directly, but on the stream, I was like, damn commies, screw the commies, look, this is a good idea, the Democrats look bad, etc., etc., etc. That was my pitch, modified limited hangout, force the Democrats to take ownership of their bad behavior, make Epstein a Democrat issue. It's a good idea. I just didn't think they were going to do it in Norfolk County. I mean, you got to understand, there's only really been, there's been a few people who have been trying to sound the alarm, but no one really was just like, screw it, let's just prove it was Epstein, except for me. I was like, I'm going to do it. I didn't think the government was going to go along with my plan. I was just kind of like, this is what we should do. It's a good idea. I'm a simple man. I'm a Southern man. I really can't believe they went along with it. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. You don't understand. I'm touched. I have that very special feeling where I'm like, wait a minute. People listen to me in the government? Oh, that's nice of them. Good job, government. So anyway, you just sometimes, the way you got to do this, let me just teach you all. It's sometimes less about whether or not you're right. You need to be right. But just being right is not enough. Sometimes you just got to have the right friends. And if you have enough friends, some people like to say they have friends in high places. I have high friends in places. And they just, they're towels. It's a little thing. It's a very high honor to be designated a towel, you must understand. They talk about it amongst themselves. Only some of them are towels. Not kidding you. So anyway, my point is, it's not about whether you're right or wrong. You can be right and lose. You can be wrong and win. It's about, you have to kind of line the pieces up. You can't just go like ham, no pun intended, because you're mad. I get all mad. But I don't just politically unleash. You got to kind of line the board up. And the board has a lot of faces. It's not just a lot of pieces. It has different faces of the board. You're playing different games at the same time. And you got to just make sure it's kind of like, you don't want to pull that final string until everything, first of all, it's dangerous. Second of all, it has to work. So I was throwing the Hail Mary here, don't get me wrong. I just thought it was a good idea. I didn't think they'd actually go along with it. It's going to be really ugly, you must understand. Oh, hello, T.A. Sarah. 57 trillion gazillion Googleplexes worth of bonus points for the entire chat. You have to distribute the points. So, yeah. Alright, what do we got, 3 Clerk Monty? What are you linking to without summarizing? I'm hesitant to even click it, although it is a DOJ file. What are we looking at here? Oh. Oh. What's this? What's this? Well, this is very interesting. Here is an email from, oh, this is fascinating. Here's an email from the boss of, the boss of Greg Connor's, the treasurer for his campaign, the DA candidate, writing an email to Jeffrey Epstein as a follow-up in 2019. Wait, what? 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 2019? Excuse me? Oh, this is bad. We haven't even read the email yet, and it's bad. Very bad. He's been bad boy. Oh, this is very bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, this is bad. Hold on. I gotta make it readable. Hold on, I gotta make it readable.
James P. McGee to jgvacation@gmail.com. Subject: a follow-up note and an inquiry date. Sunday, the 24th of February 2019, 4 hours 26 minutes and 45 seconds plus 0000. Thanks. I left names out.
Okay, so Epstein had said, I told McGee you will call around 1-ish today.
I left names out of it because nothing is ever really gained throwing negativity at other people anyway, as I said in the email. I know you have an awful lot going on.
Hold on, where is it? Where's the new one? Where is it? Where's the one that I just got? Where is it? Give me all mad. Give me that link. Where's that link? 3 Clerk Monty. Hello. Who's there? Hello. Wait. True crime. Hello, Babs for Bruins. It's good to see you all. Where's the link? There it is. I don't know why I took my link away. It made me all mad. All right, here we go. Let's go. So it's James P. McGee, okay, responding to Jeffrey Epstein, okay, responding to James P. McGee. So we're going to start again.
I know you have an awful lot going on right now and hope you're holding up okay. If something should pop into your mind where you think I could be
start again.
I left names out of it because nothing is ever really gained throwing negativity at other people anyway, as I said in the email. I know you have an awful lot going on right now and hope you're holding up okay. If something should pop into your mind where you think I could be of help, just let me know. McGee sent from my BlackBerry 10 smartphone. From 3 cent Saturday, February 23rd, 2019, 11:22 p.m. to James P. McGee. Subject: a follow-up note and an inquiry. I'll give it some thought. I do not know the individual that you are referring to. As you know, I stayed away on Saturday, February 23rd, 2019 at 11:18 p.m. James P. McGee less than wrote: Hello, Jeffrey. I still get all the news emailed sent up to me here in Boston, so first of all, I am sorry for all of the negative media coverage that the Daily News and other media outlets have decided to throw your way lately. Particularly with the sordid stories coming out of Palm Beach County today. No irony there, huh? I hope you are holding up okay. I am sure you have several professionals, particularly on the legal side, handling things, but if you feel you needed any advice, or if you felt that my particular skill set, or more importantly my way of thinking, strategizing through things, could be of help to you with anything, please do not hesitate to let me know immediately. Also, sorry for the lateness of the email, but I know you are among those who keep similar off hours like me, so I figured, what the hell? I also know that you hate long emails. But I figured I had some important updates and context around a few recent issues, so I decided that I would share them with you, even if it was a bit long, whether you found them helpful or not. I will leave that up to you. I hope that the holidays went well, and I also hope that everything turned out well for you in the US Virgin Islands governor's race. I have a suspicion that they did. If so, good for you and congratulations. UEFTAO10325512. Probably, no doubt, also heard a bunch of stories as well about yours truly, but given that you and I have had our own previous, albeit shorter relationship, I figured that I would email you directly to let you know what really happened. I did agree to do the Petrus Sainz Democratic primary election campaign, for the same exact reasons you and I had discussed very privately, when we briefly met off the record at Harvard, too. When it came to doing the August Democratic primary election, I brought in A. TV, media professionals as well as content designers and media buyers, B. Literature design teams, circa direct mail Dane teams, D. Website and social media designers and paid social media posters, E. Candidate media and debate preparation training professionals, F, etc. 3.
Paid social media poster! I can't. Oh, get fucked. Game over. Oh, the game. Okay. 2008 called, bro. They made an episode of South Park about this. No wonder Connor got railed. Oh, I knew it. Oh my God, I knew it. Oh, I knew it. I was like, this campaign, they're pretend. What is it? Fucking 1995? Oh my God. Oh, guys, listen. Obama is not coming back. All right, you burned half the Democratic Party, who no longer believe in you with that bullshit. All right. Fuck Victoria Nuland, too. Alright? Just for good measure. Yeah, I got a long memory. What the fuck are you going to do about it? There's a reason Carmen Ortiz never became a senator. She doesn't even know the reason. That'll teach her. Oh my God. I knew. That's it. That's it. I am going to spend the next year finding out who was paid by the Norfolk D.A.'s office to run interference so that people wouldn't figure this shit out. And then I'm going to tell Adam Deitch he's a hero. And what are you going to do about it? How about them fucking apples, KP? Credit to Mike Urban, who originally exposed Jim McGee. I did not know that. I'll have to check Mike Urban out. Thank you very much for that reference. That was If You Can Stand the Heat. Thank you so much. I will absolutely check Mike Urban's reporting out on James McGee or Jim McGee. Absolutely. Shout out to, let me just refresh my memory there. Shout out to Mike Urban, who apparently was one of the first journalists to find the Jim McGee files. And by the way, as someone who's researched the Epstein files, I'll tell you, it's hard. You really got to know what you're doing. So kudos to Mike Urban. And if anyone follows Mike Urban or has a connection to him, if he'd like to talk, I'd be happy to talk to him. Love to learn more about his work. God bless him for putting that together. So absolutely epic. And then, of course, the coup de grace is not just Jim McGee, but then Jim McGee employing Greg Connor's campaign treasurer. It's just wild. Yeah, maybe if Mike Urban exposed Jim McGee, he might want to hear about this connection to Connor's treasurer. That might be something that would pique his interest. I don't know Mike Urban, but I absolutely will be checking him out, especially now that I know he was the first journalist to figure out the Jim McGee connection. So gold star there for sure. All right, let's continue. This, listen, when I read this guy describe, so are you fucking telling me that the people who were down with trying to help Jeffrey Epstein in 2019 with his PR are the same people helping Greg Conner? I told you I was up against these fucking pricks. And I was like, listen, I know the style, I know the type, I'm going to rail their PIs, I'm going to figure out who's doing their PR, I'm going to find their money men, I'm going to isolate them, I'm going to find their political allies, then I'm going to make more powerful political allies, then I'm going to isolate their soldiers, then I'm going to cut the heads off the snake, and then I'm going to watch them wither on the vine and die politically. And that's how you deal, generally, with people who do too much fucking cocaine and don't do enough work. Alcohol and cocaine are bad for political efficacy. And don't sell fucking crack cocaine while you're on pre-trial probation. How many fucking times do I have to say it?
An acquaintance of both yours and mine, named I did agree to do the Petrus Sainz Democratic primary election campaign, for the same exact reasons you and I had discussed very privately, when we briefly met off the record at Harvard, too. When it came to doing the August Democratic primary election, I brought in A. TV, media professionals as well as content designers and media buyers, B. Literature design teams, circa direct mail Dane teams, D. Website and social media designers and paid social media posters, E. Candidate media and debate preparation training professionals, F. etc. 3. An acquaintance of both yours and mine, names are not necessary here, insisted that I get the best of the above, all on board, to make it happen and just win. That person also, personally guaranteed, those professionals would be paid for their services associated to do the above campaign for USVI governor. I was able to bring many of those people on board because of my 20-year relationships with them, and because of my word.
Oh, you did not just, you understand what he just did there, right? Who was president in 2019? It was the very end of his term. Who was the president in 2019? Anyone remember? I know, it was a long time ago. T.A. Sarah, this is the pop quiz. Who's going to get it right first? All the bonus points to the people that get it right. Who was the president in 2019? Oh, it gets worse. Oh, God, I'm going to get all mad. That's it. You got it right. Chandelier Hospitality, 70 trillion bonus points. Good job. I know a lot of other people will get it right. Nope. It was not President Obama. Nope. Now, listen. You know what Mr. President doesn't like? I don't know him personally, but you know what he probably doesn't like? People throwing his name around when they don't actually talk to him. You know, that might make somebody, oh man. Oh, and Epstein paid him $15,000 a month. Did he now? $15,000 a month.
I was able to bring many of those people on board because of my 20-year relationships with them, and because of my word. 4. Nevertheless, Ali Petrus came up short, but then above said individual refused to pay after the primary election. That is an absolute fact, and please do not let any others tell you otherwise. It is also completely unacceptable and wrong. 5. So therefore, when the governor Mapp came calling, it was incumbent upon me to agree to do his campaign, in order to recoup those monies, and make sure those individuals, professionals, were paid, and that they were made whole. Which I did. When I give someone my word, I follow through and keep it. So, I did the work, and with the money paid to me by Mapp, they were all paid, even if the other person in question would not pay the bills, as agreed, I paid them from my money. 6. With that being said, things seem to have worked out for everyone down there with Albert Bryan's successful election as your new governor. Again, I hope this was also the case for you. But, to be truthful, I had already had enough of the Virgin Islands politically anyway by that point. They eat their own down there. But, I don't have to tell you this. And, frankly, after 12 long years, that got pretty old. As an individual with a similar intellect, my guess, in your case, a somewhat slightly higher intellect, I believe that you also can relate when I say that sometimes you also just get bored, regardless of how good you are at doing something, which is why I was looking to change things up a bit, and that's also why win, or lose, I was done down in the US Virgin Islands anyway. That is not to say that I am completely walking away from politics. I mean, after all, I elected the 15th openly gay, lesbian, Attorney General in the United States with Maura Healey, M.A. And I continue to be her senior political advisor, and she is probably running for Massachusetts governor in...
Oh, no! Oh, Governor Healey! Oh, damn it! Oh! 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 Come on, Governor Healey, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know this got a little bit of news at the time, but, like, what are you doing? Why were you working with this man? That's bad. That's bad. That's very bad. Oh, that's very bad. Governor Healey, why did you have a consultant who was being paid by Jeffrey Epstein to do PR work in 2019 for him? Did your PR consultant tell you that he was doing PR for Jeffrey Epstein? What does it take to win an election? Is that really, what it means when politicians say you got to do whatever it takes? Work with people who take $15,000 a month in 2019 to do PR for convicted sex offenders who hurt children? I'm just wondering. Madam Governor, we got to have a conversation. All right? And we got to have a conversation. I'm all mad. You made me mad. What have you done? I thought you were doing... I mean, you didn't... You're not JFK, but you're doing good work. I don't think you're trying to be JFK. I mean, the cocaine thing out in UMass, that was... I didn't know what to say about that. All right? We got to have a conversation, though. This is bad. This is very bad. This is deplorable. What are you doing? Mr. President, I'm sure would love nothing more than to lay the feet of the entire Jeffrey Epstein scandal directly at your feet. And that seems to be the direction we're going. Now, wait until you see the index that I put together of Epstein's calls to Massachusetts. So it's actually a little tough to tell. What would happen is Epstein would operate out of Maxwell's place. And so Maxwell would get calls, or the secretary would get calls. They would deliver the note to Epstein, and Epstein would make a lot of calls directly from Maxwell's place. But when Epstein would travel, Epstein would call Maxwell. Maxwell would be the intermediary, and then Maxwell would call and do whatever Epstein said. So you have to track. It's a little hard to track who's calling who in Massachusetts when. I'm working on that. Literally, I am calling the people that they called, and it's not as easy as you think. And I'm being like, who called you on this date in 2006? And they're either like, I have no idea, or that most of the numbers are disconnected, or I don't know, etc., etc. There was one weird call I'll tell you about, but on the whole, most of them are like, that's not me, or I have no idea what you're talking about, or the number's disconnected, or etc., or the person's dead. That's why this has been very hard to track down. But let me just tell you, there's hundreds of calls. It took me probably 12 hours, maybe, I got up at like 1 in the morning. I've been up since 1 in the morning. It took me until 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern time to put this all together, and I'm not done. I only got through like 2,000 or like 1,700 of the 2,400 pages. He called so many people in Massachusetts. It's almost incredible. And I figured out who he was calling. Listen to me. I didn't understand what we were dealing with until today. Now I did, and when I say I went through the corporate records, bro, one guy is worth so much effing money that he has 5 pages of corporate records on the Secretary of State website. Dude, I traced that shit all the way back, literally all the way back. I found the original set 1978 incorporation documents, and I found what we're actually dealing with. I don't know what to tell you. It's exactly what I think a lot of you thought. It's very old money. Like, basically, like, seats on the stock exchange old. Oh, Wait What True Crime says, great work, Grant. Thank you for your support. So, God bless you. Yeah, so it's as old money as you thought. I did the diligence today. That was my initial project. Okay, the Greg Conner thing just came up, and now we're reading this, which I'm happy to do. But let me just be clear. This ties directly into what we're about to cover, which is the, no pun intended, meat and potatoes of it all. Because Michael Proctor hates the Irish, as we all know. I don't think he actually hates the Irish. He just made a very ill-advised anti-Irish joke that came back to hurt him in the context of an argument related to racial animus. But that's neither here nor there. Take it up with Maggie Thatcher. Anyway, so, you know what I'm saying? She took the milk money. I don't like her. So my point is, this all ties in very, very directly to what we're going to be talking about, because I'm not kidding you when I say I put together one of the longest, it's even longer than the book I wrote. I haven't even talked about the book. Wait till you hear about the book. The book's really good. But my Nana liked it. So my Nana was reading the book with me yesterday, just as a quick aside. I wrote a book. It's called Boss Tweed Days in Norfolk County, The Rise and Fall of Michael Morrissey's Political Machine. Now listen, I give the book to my Nana, and I had to send it as the Google Drive link. The Amazon wasn't ready. And so she's the first person who's read it that has no idea what's going on in these cases. She doesn't care. She likes to watch movies, and then she likes to play her games. She doesn't like to watch TV. She watches a little of Fox News. She likes Fox. She doesn't like CNN. So anyway, she opens the link, right? And I ask her if she wants to read it or if she wants to sit there and I'll listen. So she says she'll read the first page. Okay, I'm down with that, Nana. So Towel Nana starts reading my book. And she doesn't want to read the whole thing, nor does she plan on reading the whole thing. She just wants to read, to me, the first, author's note. And then she reads it. She's like, that's pretty good. And she scrolls, and she gets to the first chapter. And it's the judge, the lawyer, the restaurant owner, etc. And she starts reading. And she's like, okay, Judge Gildea, okay, H&M restaurant. Where's this? And she's still reading. It's 20 minutes later. Now we're on chapter 2, chapter 3. We're 30 minutes in. She gets to chapter 4 or 5 when the big sort of moment, the reveal, and it all starts to add up. She gets to the chapter about Sandra Birchmore, and she's like, oh my God, I cannot stop reading this. And she just keeps reading it. She's like, I need to know what happens. And I was like, oh, I guess I did it. And she was like, the only thing I don't like is it's written like it's an audiobook. And I was like, that is right, Nana. It's literally an audiobook transcribed into text with some editing by me after I wrote the source material. So she thought it was really good. And that's your very brief Towel Nana discussion about the book I will tell you about that also ties into all of this. But in any event, you can see it all kind of culminating here. I also know a lot of these names and faces, so I'll tell you as this person makes reference to them.
And I continue to be her senior political advisor, and she is probably running for Massachusetts governor in 2022. I also continue to advise most of the Massachusetts House leadership team, including the chairman of Ways and Means.
Oh, God. So, in 2019, House leadership, Mariano, I don't remember who the House Ways and Means chair was in 2019. Let's get the answer. House, Massachusetts, House Ways and Means chair in 2019. Aaron Mikovits. not Mariano, it was DeLeo back then. That's right. So he's talking about DeLeo's leadership time as the House Speaker in Massachusetts, and then Aaron Michaelvitz was the chair of the Ways and Means.
Who sets the $40 billion budget here in Massachusetts, as well as the House Majority Leader, Chairman of Elections, Chairman of Redistricting, etc. To name a few, so to not stay involved in politics would just be dumb on my part, so I won't go that far. However, I am one of those individuals who constantly finds himself looking for the next area of life to begin diving into, exploring and learning about, or, if you will, reinventing myself. I've done it three times so far already in my...
Oh, Ron Mariano was the House Majority Leader. Oh! Hi, Miss Bus Driver. So good to see you. Hi, Devon. Yeah, British Reporter Towels taking one for the team here. Good to see you, Devon. Good to see you, Pat Ray. Hi, Aaron. Aaron's taking a good note. 70 billion bonus points. Hi, Kofi. I know Kofi's out there. He's a dog.
However, I am one of those individuals who constantly finds himself looking for the next area of life to begin diving into, exploring and learning about, or, if you will, reinventing myself. I've done it three times so far already in my 52 years.
Yeah, I remember the first time I took DMT. I never did that. I'm just saying, that's how it reads.
What has my real interest right now is something that you already have a great deal, many years, of experience and involvement, as well as valuable contributions towards, which is the area of astronomy, astrophysics, and astrodynamics. Not to mention the respect of your many individuals and peers in the field. You are probably not aware of this, but I graduated, what would now be considered a small lifetime ago, with a degree in civil engineering and minor in mathematics from the University of Massachusetts, College of Engineering. At Amherst before doing a 180-degree turn with my career, by entering into the world of elected politics. In addition to the creation of several of my own companies, which included a campaign election, policy, and strategic consulting company, a campaign and constituency data software design company, and a public relations and strategic media advisory company. I guess that, like you, I prefer to keep busy. However, for longer than I can remember, I have always been fascinated about our universe, in which we are a small, but I have also always believed a significant, part. And given my scientific background, having the knowledge that although we have been placed here on Earth in this ideal location for a reason, to live, learn, and thrive. Our personal star, the Sun, constantly gives off energy, and that energy is not inexhaustible. So, as a species, our future, without question, as your good late friend Professor Stephen Hawking said, lies moving one day further out into our universe, and beyond, if we are to continue as a species at all. Now, also as the father of 2 new daughters, a 4-year-old and 1-year-old, I also think about their futures, and I hope greatly that
Oh, bro. Oh, wait a minute. At first I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Then I was like, why are you telling a child sex offender about your fucking daughters and their fucking ages? Oh, alright. I'm gonna say something I'm gonna regret. I'm really fucking mad. Are you fucking kidding me? This was all fun and games. It was just superfluous political nonsense. Like, it said, I could have said all that shit in a paragraph. Okay? It was very superfluous. Okay? But this is now I'm mad. Excuse me? Excuse me. You are telling a convicted child sex offender at that time, registered in 4 states, the age of your daughters. There is no. I talked to a bundler today, very high-ranking bundler for the Democratic Party, who said he was out after this. Out. Not this email. The stuff about Epstein and Massachusetts. He was out. Hello, drop microdots. We do, and I think more might be incoming in 1 second. And let me just say, I was not pleased. What I said to that bundler was very foul-mouthed. Because I don't care if you have a different ideology than me. It's America. Barring, like, some kind of, like, literal treason, you can believe whatever you want. I don't have a problem with you just having a different political opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. But this stuff is approaching a level where I'm actually worried about the culture that was developing around some of these people. I don't know if it was money, drugs, like this, like, Wagnerian, like, bloviation, like, whatever made them, like, do you understand Epstein and one of the doctors he was talking to were thinking about how to manipulate the female genome throughout the species to create wider vaginal canals? And you might be saying to yourself, why? Well, do you know that according to this Columbia doctor or something, I forget exactly his affiliation, the intelligence of mammals is directly correlated to the relationship in size between their brain, their head, and their body. And the biggest thing that restricts the size of the male head, because they also believe women have 10% less neurons in their brains. This is in the files. The only thing that's keeping men from becoming more intelligent is the narrowness of the female birth canal. So their solution was to genetically modify women throughout the population to breed for the trait of more narrow birth canals. Then there was this other fuckface doctor who's like, yeah, well, if we're going to do that, bro, why don't we breed them to have like a curved back so they're more presentable during sex? They were putting this in fucking writing. So, yeah. No, Nightbot, you be nice. So, yeah. No, I am not just going to sit by passively, having stared into the literal abyss, and say, well, there's a moral equivalence here. We should give their position the time of day. No! They did this subversively. They did really horrifying stuff. And then the worst part of it is, latent to it all was this culture that enabled it. And when I see this fucking line in this paragraph, you know what it reminds me of? The scene at the end of Eyes Wide Shut. This motherfucker, now I'm mad. All right, and you listen. Politically, at this point, all bets are off. So old guard is gone. I wouldn't want to be someone who did bad shit under the old guard with the new guard coming in, because they seem pretty pissed about child trafficking and prostitution, which they consider human trafficking, and so do I. All right, so look at this. Why would you tell a convicted child sex offender, after your pitch to work with him politically, the age of your children, when you know he is into children? Please answer me. Give me a reasonable alternative explanation. If not, to basically pitch him on, well, if you don't like my work, like, I got something else you can have access to. Tell me how else I'm supposed to read this. My state I don't care if you're gay, straight. I don't care if you only love Jesus and no one else, or God, or whatever, or trees. I have no problem with any of that. All right? Seriously, whatever makes you happy. No children, no animals. Is it that hard to understand? I thought that was just a basic premise of our society. These people went way over the line. Way over the line. And you know what? I don't even get... Frankly, there are some good Democrats on the ground. Most Democrats are not party Democrats. They're more like, oh, I kind of wish JFK was still around. You know, like, can't they just be normal? Like, that's how a lot of line Democrats feel. I can't... Why is the party so weird, bruh? Like, why are they wearing frog costumes? Like, is that, like, meant to make us look bad? Like... They really do. They're just waiting for someone to step up. It's not coming, though. I'm telling you. The Democratic Party's gone. Whatever the fuck it was, like 50, 60, 70 years ago, it's gone. It's basically like pseudo-communist. And worse, it's selfish fucking like Stalin-style communism, where the fucking bougie motherfuckers are on a luxury yacht while the rest of us are on a rubber raft and it's sinking. Well, we're throwing the people around us out. So I don't really know what to do about that. They live very well. And it's wrong. They didn't create it on the back of actual work. What they did was, in essence, create like a machine of cultural debauchery. Not gambling, not the weed. I'm talking about the prostitution. They created a machine of cultural debauchery and used the blackmail to retain political power without any checks and balances. And it led to this shit. And seriously, we gotta really like think about what we did in this state by voting blue all the time. It was stupid. What was the point of that? What did we actually accomplish? Do you like living here? It's terrible. The roads work, okay, but like, and yeah, people are starting to be nicer, I suppose. That's a good saying. And the communities at the like core are not bad. But like, do you like living here? Is it pleasant? No. They created a selfish system where they and their friends control what's going to happen. But the reaction to this will be vitriolic. You watch. The voters have a way of expressing their displeasure. They don't always do it across the slate. They'll pick one office. The treasurer's office, actually, I think is a really good one this year, to send Elizabeth Dion to the treasurer's office. I think she's just a good candidate. She's a very intelligent sort of economist who thinks about like how to be fiscally conservative and responsible. We haven't had anyone in this state talking about fiscal responsibility in like 40 years. So the voters will send a message. I don't think they're going to do it with Healy. I'm sorry. It's just the electorate is weird here, okay? And you kind of need to encroach into suburbia north of the 128 split to be able to win, to be able to carry a general election. You can't win with the South Coast and the North Coast, and then a little bit of the West. There's just not enough people. If you want to win an election as a conservative in Massachusetts, you have to carry the 128 belt. And I think Dion might be able to do it. She doesn't have a lot of name recognition now. But give her a look, some of you folks out there who are looking to send a message to the machine beyond just the Norfolk D.A. primary. I do think Dion and Goldberg is a good race to do it in. Goldberg's got a lot of baggage, and I think it's a good race. Goldberg's got to get out of there, too. Her family, like, ran a supermarket or something, like, for a long time. She's been there forever. We need somebody who doesn't have, like, business. Elizabeth Dion's like an economist. She might have, like, a business she ran or, like, a local business, but she doesn't run, like, a supermarket chain. She's an economist. So, I like it. All right, with my political spiel out of the way. The reason I did that, by the way, because if I said what I really wanted to say about that line in that email, I would have lost it. I'm sorry. Like, I don't have time, even right now, to decompress about that line. If I think too much about this paragraph, I'm going to be furious. I need to sleep on it, and then I will decide politically how I'm going to address this.
Now, also as the father of 2 new daughters, a 4-year-old and 1-year-old, I also think about their futures, and I hope greatly that they will take an interest. And at least a good part of their future education will be drawn towards science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM, given the incredible and indelible importance that these areas will play in the continuing development of their own futures. And the future of our planet. Which brings me to the question I have written to you about. The bottom line is that you have been involved with and connected to, as well as contributed and have the respect of a world, including those you've worked with up here at Harvard with, that I am now looking for the opportunity to both learn from, work in, and, if lucky enough, also one day contribute to. I wanted to check with you to see if there was any possibility to explore such an opportunity through you, given your incredibly extensive connections throughout this specialized community at large.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's code. Interpretal, you don't have to switch parties, but you have to be unenrolled to vote or the party you belong to. You can't vote in another party's primary. The general, you can vote for whoever you want, but primaries in my state are closed. So you need to be unenrolled or the party you want to vote for. You were talking to Static Soldier. Hi, Static Soldier. All right, listen to me. The way that like an Arab sheik might say, I just want to give you my analysis, might say that second paragraph is, they're men like us. He's not. So he's talking in code. He's code switching. But he's, in my opinion, this is my opinion, first of all, he's talking to a convicted pedophile, so I don't know how much fucking code you think you're going to get away with, bro. But you see what he's saying? I'm looking for the opportunity to both learn from, work in, and if lucky enough, one day contribute to your world. I wanted to check with you to see if there's any possibility to explore such an opportunity through you, given your incredibly extensive connections throughout this specialized community at large. Oh, and by the way, I have a 1 and 4-year-old daughter. I'm going to clean up this state. If you hurt children, in Massachusetts in particular, you should run. Because they have a friend now. He's all mad, juridically. And he has friends. He likes to call his friends. He likes to tell them when bad men do bad things. Makes him very happy. Oh, now I'm just fucking mad. 3 Clerk Monty. You knew you... 3 Clerk Monty's like, yeah... I knew this was gonna make him mad. Damn right it makes me fucking mad. Makes me all mad. Jesus Christ. You know what? There's all this weird shit. So, I want to talk personally for a second. I want to try to get through to some of these people. Alright? So I don't have much of a memory of my childhood after a certain point. I was a very happy kid. And then the light went from my eyes at one point. And the worst part is I don't really remember what happened. Or kinda, just pieces. Like a flash there, like a flash here. Almost like I was drugged. Let me just tell you, it really fucks kids up. It really does. And it's wrong. And some of them, I don't know what the fuck these people were doing on the higher level. I think they were trying to induce trauma to bring about, like, advanced cognition. Okay. Yeah. At what cost? Like, complete, like emotional dysregulation. And by the way, you know how many people they killed trying to figure this out? They would induce trauma in the child, and then they would track the child's development to see if they would develop gifts after being traumatized throughout life. Yeah, they had stages. They would look for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep. So to those of you, I don't think anyone, maybe some of the people who realize they're screwed are watching. But please just don't do that. 1, it's wrong. 2, it's morally wrong. 3, it's illegal. 4, I will get you. Eventually. Especially in this state. And 5, it causes permanent, long-lasting psychosocial damage. A lifetime of it. Because of your selfish sexual perversions. Seriously, use your fucking hand. What the fuck is wrong with some of you? Makes me very mad. Oh God, I have to read the rest of this because it won't even interpolate. He says the increased ability of online access to research, lectures, ongoing investigatory work, as well as courses and achieving online degrees makes the possibilities for working in the field possible, as well as the possibility working within available that did not exist as little as a decade ago. Okay, bro, those letters aren't supposed to be capitalized, so what the fuck does that mean? Why would you just rant, like, what? Okay, so O-A, well, let's see, let's start with the T. T-O-R-L-O-I-W-C-O-D-F D and then T, and then what else is capitalized in that paragraph? Skip the I's. S. Let's just skip the T and the S. So it's like Tor, Lolly, two ARL, 2A ROLIWCODFD, 2A real life OIWCOFD. Huh. To a real life in OIWCODFD. I don't know. So to a real life, it's definitely code, because the first part reads to a real life, to a RL, and then I don't know what the fuck the next part is supposed to mean. I thought it was Tor too, but it's not Tor. It's TO space A space RL, to a real life, and then I don't know what the hell OIW. It's code. I don't know what the fuck he put in there, but that's like he does it a bunch of times in the letter. He capitalizes words that shouldn't be capitalized, as if he's writing. And it might be the reason I can't see the code is because the code is supposed to be read with all of the... Traditionally, the way you'd write a code like this is not with something like this, but you would just put like words like with uppercases that don't need to have the uppercase. You might like start all the words with like the first words here, like to make a word, or you might like throw in like random like uppercases, like our future. Now you ignore proper nouns. But anyway, that's just weird. The whole thing is weird. You may read this and wonder, where the hell did this come from? Or why is he writing to me? And then decide that you are far too busy with everything you have ongoing and just simply say pass on this one. Another odd capitalization. But as you have also already learned about me, I am not the average person who walks in your door. And there may one day be the possibility that given how damn good, another odd capitalization, I am at what I do, sorry for the immodesty, with sorry and immodesty capitalized, that it may very well have real value down the road. Now this dude knows how to write a fucking normal paragraph. Like there are some paragraphs in here, well, he capitalizes some odd words, but he knows how to write a paragraph. I don't know why he capitalizes shit oddly. Either way, I'll stop there. And I just want to finish by sincerely taking a moment to say I appreciate you just simply taking the time to read this email and say thank you in advance. If, after reading this correspondence, you decide to consider reaching out and communicating with me about said topic, I will be extremely grateful and make myself available around whenever works for your schedule. I know you have an awful lot more than me in this email going on right now, so I can be reached via my email at blank or on my cell phone at your convenience, which is of more importance, of course, to discuss further. I am also available to me anytime you are back up at Harvard or anywhere else in Boston. I will, of course, work around whatever works for your schedule and make myself available. How nervous is this guy? Lastly, as I iterated at the beginning of this email, if you feel my particular skill sets, and more importantly, my way of thinking, strategizing and tackling problems can be beneficial and helpful to you in any way during this current time, please do not hesitate to ask me. Thanks again and take care. Dude. Listen to me. Is that how professionals write? Have you ever read a political consultant that pitches themselves to someone that way? Dude, he's nervous and he's trying to talk in code, but he's so nervous, he's just rambling. And we'll take a look at some of the connections, by the way, between some of these guys a little bit more in depth right now. That letter's terrifying. I know it's been out there. I know other people have seen it. It's going to make the rounds again now that this guy's underling is working directly for... By the way, the guy underling who was on the email, so he knows that McGee was meeting with Epstein to take him as a client, okay, at one point. This is disturbing. In every sense of the term, it's disturbing. All right, let me show you a few more of these connections between these guys. So, McGee paid, how much did he pay? Very interesting. $15,000 per month to McGee, did he now? Here's an interesting, this is from Vic Consortium. Let me see this right up here. I want to see what it actually looks like. I've never been to Vic Consortium. Oh, that's cool. You can listen to the article. I always love articles that have accessibility features. Good job, Vic Consortium. The Virgin Island Consortium. It's called Vic Consortium. Let's take a listen. Yes. Audio is unavailable right now. I object. All right, British reporter towel. You gotta.
I wanted to check with you.
You gotta come in and save the day.
Log in. After Brian texts and Plaskett, friend, exchange emerge, Donnerstog calls for full Senate investigation. As DOJ released documents detail April 2019 text exchanges between Jeffrey Epstein and Governor Brian, and a 2018 message in which Plaskett wrote she hoped it was not presumptuous to consider you a friend, Donnerstog urges a public legislative probe. 1. Janica Simon. 2. February 26, 2026. 3. Audio is unavailable right now. Please try again shortly. Renewed scrutiny is unfolding in the Virgin Islands following the release of Department of Justice documents that include text exchanges between Jeffrey Epstein and Governor Albert Bryan Jr., as well as correspondence in which Delegate Stacey Plaskett referenced Epstein as a friend, prompting a former lawmaker to call for a public legislative investigation. Former Senate President Adler Fancy Donnerstog has written to Senate President Milton Potter urging the 36th legislature to convene a full, public investigation into Epstein's activities in the Virgin Islands. In his letter, Donnerstog calls for examination of both the economic and social impacts of Epstein's presence in the territory, specifically referencing the tax exemptions and special concessions granted by the USVI government. His request follows reporting by CNN detailing text message exchanges between Epstein and Governor Albert Bryan Jr. related to construction enforcement issues on Little St. James and Great St. James. According to correspondence included in the U.S. Department of Justice's recent release of millions of Epstein-related documents, Epstein reached out to Bryan in April 2019 after the Department of Planning and Natural Resources issued violations tied to unauthorized development. I'm told that JP is now going to issue fines against me, Epstein texted on April 9, 2019. He is not aware of any fines, a man identified as Albert responded. He mentioned a notification of violations, but I asked him to hold everything until he and the attorney spoke to me. Days later, Epstein sought a meeting. I can heli to STX if you have time, he wrote. Albert responded that he would be in St. Thomas that weekend. Can you spare 15 minutes? Epstein asked. For you, absolutely. Tomorrow afternoon, came the reply. Albert suggested meeting at Erica's office, believed to be Epstein's attorney Erica Kellerhalls. The identity of Albert appears corroborated by reference to a luncheon with the League of Women Voters on the same day, an event Governor Bryan is documented as attending. Donnerstog's letter also attaches email correspondence from the DOJ's document release showing discussions between Epstein, former First Lady Cecile de Jong, and Kellerhalls regarding electoral strategy in the Virgin Islands. In a June 19, 2014 email, de Jong wrote to Epstein, "We are trying to get Stacey Plaskett elected to Congress." She added, "We would have a friend in Stacey." The emails discuss fundraising targets, stating that Plaskett would need to raise $75,000 between June and August 2014, while Bryan's 2018 gubernatorial campaign would require $1 million between August and September 2018. In August 2018, Epstein asked, "Does Albert really have a chance?" Kellerhalls responded, "Yes, he definitely has a chance," outlining strategy and stating, "Not only do we have to deal with MAP, but also need to take down Donnerstog. I'm fairly confident we can." Separate reporting in February 2026 detailed additional correspondence between Delegate Stacey Plaskett and Epstein. According to documents released by the Department of Justice, Plaskett used the pseudonym Leroy Daughter in a May 5, 2017 email to Epstein proposing that he fund a one-year project to create a new voter file for the Virgin Islands. The goal, she wrote, was to compile updated data on voters to assist with messaging and campaign work. This project would allow us to completely outperform anyone in any race, Plaskett wrote. Jeffrey, would really appreciate your support in the project and thoughts on our home and national scene. The correspondence indicates Plaskett was working on the initiative with James McGee, described as a longtime political consultant to Epstein. In a May 2, 2017 email, McGee wrote to Epstein that the initiative served two very important purposes, including to protect, reinforce, and continue to build upon Stacey's currently very strong political position and the high favorability, ratings she currently has ahead of next year. McGee stated, "I can tell you the end results of this project is a model mechanism that puts us, Stacey, and a potential candidate at a tremendous advantage over the field." He added, "I know Stacey appreciates it." 12. About acquiring a radio station and newspaper in the Virgin Islands to influence. Log in. According to the documents, McGee was paid $15,000 per month by Epstein under a consulting contract included in the files. He also made proposals in 2012 about acquiring a radio station and newspaper in the Virgin Islands to influence the narrative and have an impact on the territorial elections, though those purchases did not materialize. The DOJ document release also includes text exchanges between Plaskett and Epstein in September 2018. "I know you're tremendously busy. Thanks so much for taking time and sharing ideas and thoughts. I appreciate your support and hope I'm not presumptuous to consider you a friend," Plaskett texted. Epstein responded, "Privileged to be called friend, sick." In November, Plaskett told CNN that correspondence with Epstein did not constitute a friendship. "There are a lot of people who have done a lot of crimes. And as a prosecutor, you get information from people where you can. I've interviewed confidential informants, I've interviewed drug traffickers and others," she said. "And that doesn't mean that I'm their friend. That doesn't mean that they are friendly with me. It means that they have information that I need, and that I'm trying to get at the truth. And that's what I did." Epstein established residency in the Virgin Islands in part for tax benefits and owned Little St. James and Great St. James, where numerous victims later alleged they were trafficked and abused. In his letter to Senator Potter, Donistorg argues that the legislature must act to restore public confidence. He writes that Virgin Islanders continue to view leadership with a jaundiced eye, and that a lack of transparency breeds suspicion and erodes the very foundations of our democratic rights. To do any less at this time only fosters an impression that will hurt our future and our potential progress, Donistorg declared, urging the 36th legislature to act post-haste.
Damn right they should have. Now let's take a look at an email from Leroy's daughter to Jeffrey Epstein.
From Jeffrey E. gvacation@gmail.com to Leroy daughter.
Stacey Plaskett.
One subject. Follow up to our call date. Monday the 8th of May 2017 12 hours 38 minutes and 2 seconds plus 0000. I am aware of not fully. If there is no candidate to oppose map of substance. Not sure money well spent at this time to reformat old list. Different story if it is you. Little reason to piss off map knowing for sure we are going to lose on Friday, May 5, 2017 at 11:14 a.m. Leroy daughter less than 1 greater than wrote. Thanks so much for talking with me about the current state of politics at home and in DC. Locally, I'm very concerned with our financial state and the unwillingness of our elected officials to seek real counsel and take the mature, grown-up, steps necessary to put us on the right path to some economic viability. While Puerto Rico has a debt problem, the Virgin Islands aside from the debt has an even greater problem of economic stagnation, no plans for the new paradigm of financial growth. The individual in the position of governor and the composition of senators which make up the majority are critical to recovery. A governor with an obstructionist Senate majority get no plans done, De Jong's last term, or a governor with a rubber-stamped Senate can take the territory barreling over a cliff, Mapp's first term. I have spoken at length with McGee and 2 older advisors to De Jong, who played critical roles in his first and second win about the need to create a new voter file. De Jong's file was never updated after the first win and is now stale. This would be an almost 1-year project of developing the list of Virgin Islanders who have voted in several prior elections, segregating primary and general, current phone, email and physical addresses. This is the most important group to poll for messaging and later phone banking for support and get to the polls. Others poll by phone book or on the street. Not accurate. I, along with the 2 to 3 individuals who assist in financing this project, will then use the information to make rational data-driven decisions about local election, who for what positions, along with messaging and campaign work. McGee will also advise the candidates chosen from the group. I'd like to launch by the next month and would appreciate your partnership to make this happen. This project would allow us to completely outperform anyone in any race. On the DC front, I will be meeting Schumer the week of May 16th. That same week I'm having a strategy dinner with 3 DC operatives with 70+ YRS combined experience representing convergent sectors of Dems, one Blue Dog, Tuesday representative lobbyist. An old Tip O'Neill, Geffart Rostenkowski guy and a progressive Clinton woman, to discuss path forward. Also in my discussion with McGee, we discussed the impression you had that the USVI was in the PROMESA bill. We are absolutely not in the bill. I was able to negotiate with Treasury, gain the support of a bloc of Dems who held vote until the USVI and smaller territories were satisfied with the bill, and got a moderate rep to offer the amendment to remove the small territories from the bill. The original VI strategy was to have us removed, and immediately the Gov and his team would quietly inform Jeffries and others of our staunch conservatism and unwillingness to request the same provisions. Because the Gov and his team didn't believe Plaskett could get it done, the lobbyist direct quote to me, they never activated their portion of the plan and so the street never knew we were excluded. Jeffrey, would really appreciate your support in the project and thoughts on our home and national scene. Look forward to hearing back. EFTAO 1046752. Stacy Plaskett, ESC. Please note the information contained in this communication is confidential, may be attorney-client privileged, may constitute inside information, and is intended only for the use of the addressee. It is the property of G. Unauthorized use, disclosure or copying of this communication or any part thereof is strictly prohibited and may be unlawful. If you have received this communication in error, please notify us immediately by return email or by email.
I did not. No, I received it from the DOJ's public release of your files. So, yeah, I think you're seeing the connections here. Now, I'll write this up after stream. I don't need to write it up on stream. I think you all see the story's out there, okay? I'm not going to dilute the story. Everyone knows what's going on with Greg Conner. There is very material relevance of this paragraph right here. Okay, McGee being paid $15,000 per month by Epstein. Okay, we have no idea if any of that went to Greg Conner's treasurer or not. Okay, but it certainly is a strong indication that something's wrong. Now, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Let me show you a little bit of what I did today. All right, I don't know if this one is going to be able to be read out. All right, but I censored all the numbers. All right, so let me see if British Reporter Tal wants to do it. So I spent a very long amount of time on this today. I went through every phone call that Epstein made in Massachusetts. It took 10 hours. I went through 2 months. This is just 2 months of phone calls. It took me 10 hours. There are hundreds of phone calls. I investigated every single phone call. Okay, I investigated every single date. I investigated the clusters. I investigated the map. I'm going to take you through it. I'd just like to be able to do it in text, so I'm going to try to have British Reporter Tal do it. We don't have to wait for the translation by the other Reporter Tal, as long as the text renders fine, which I imagine it will. Give me 1 second. Yeah, all right, here we go. All right, so all the numbers are censored, okay? And this is every call. Well, I'm 75% through. This is every call that Jeffrey Epstein made in August and September, October and November to Massachusetts in 2006. Now, it's a little bit difficult at times because Epstein will call from Maxwell's phone, and then some days Maxwell and Epstein won't be in the same place. So Maxwell will be calling Epstein and he'll be delivering her commands. I try to parse that out, but it's not easy. Let's take a listen. This was very hard to do.
De Hoswitz, XXXXXX9892.
That was just the first note I took.
2006. 28. 12/20th 12:49 p.m. Brighton Mar XXXXXX9892 flat 0.40.03. De Hoswitz, XXXXXX9892. 29. 11/29 6:11 p.m. Stoneham Mar XXXXXXX0114 flat 0.40.03.
That was one I could never figure out.
11/20 12:30 p.m. Brookline Mar XXXXXX7983 flat 0.60.04. Harvard Professor Arthur Goodhue. Fieltzer. 22. 11/27 10:24 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX4929 flat 0.50.04. Howard Gardner, Harvard Graduate School of Education. 39. 11/29 4:10 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX2187 flat 0.30.02. De Hoswitz, XXXXXX2187. 11. 12, 06 10:51 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX2800 flat 1.10.08. Richard Friedman Carpenter and Company, Inc., real estate company located at the Charles Hotel. See the 10th of November 2005 tie. Contribution Richard Friedman equals NE $15,000 September 30th 2005 MV, Delahunt. Event SC Richard Friedman Dick C. O. Carpenter & Co. 20 University Road, Cambridge, Massachusetts. 02138XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX 2000, President Bill Clinton appointed Friedman as chairman of the National Capital Planning Commission. In 2010, Friedman was appointed by President Barack Obama to the President's Export Council. From May 2013 until January 1, 2020, Friedman was a director of Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts. In June 2014, the Boston Globe reported that Friedman was developing a $700 million, 61-story Four Seasons hotel and private residences 1 Dalton Street in Boston's Back Bay. The building is the tallest building to be built in New England in the last 40 years. Note, Carpenter & Company, Inc. was run by Friedman and John D. Hamilton, a managing partner of Hale & Dorr, LLP, now Wilmer Hale. Mr. Hamilton was famous for what former colleague Bill O'Reilly describes as his management by walking around style, which made him a constant and genial presence in the halls. John was a people person, says Dan Halston, current partner in charge of Wilmer Hale's Boston office. He knew everyone, both lawyers and staff, and would always remember the names of their children and grandchildren. See
Now, those two guys, it looks like it's a Wilmer Hale firm. You want to see who they founded it with in like 87? Oh yeah, I went all the way back. This is the guy they founded it with. His name is Benedict Coleman. Take a listen to his biography. This is who those two guys
all
that
scholars.
You just read about founded their company with, okay?
Benedict Coleman Hamilton.
And if you're thinking to yourself, Grant, are you about to tell me this motherfucker's family is the reason we have Eggs Benedict? Yeah. Yep.
Coleman Benedict came from an old and distinguished New England family. One ancestor, Charles Chauncey, 1592 to 1672, was the second president of Harvard, 1654 to 1671. Another, Lemuel Coleman, 1751 to 1824, was the first mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut. His grandfather, Coleman Benedict, was a Wall Street broker who founded the firm Benedict, Drysdale & Co. His son Cleland inherited his seat on the New York Stock Exchange. Cleland's brother Lemuel Benedict, 1840 to 1903, who also had a seat on the exchange, is reputed to have ordered chef Oscar of the Waldorf in 1894 to create the dish known as Eggs Benedict. Coleman H. Benedict developed his love for Greek and Latin at the Riverdale Country School beginning in 1918. He graduated from Princeton cum laude, then after receiving the Ph.D., he began teaching at Western Reserve 1939-40, then at the University of Vermont before enlisting in the Army Counterintelligence Corps in 1942. After serving as technical sergeant, was given a battlefield commission as second lieutenant in November 1944, for which he investigated potential sabotage and subversion in Britain, France, Germany, and Belgium. He took part in the landing at Normandy, the Battle of St. Lo and the Battle of the Bulge. His team was assigned to protect Truman during the Potsdam Conference. Returning to the academic world after his discharge as a first lieutenant in 1946, he devoted nearly 3 decades to Columbia, where he was departmental representative of Columbia College and its School of General Studies. Known to his friends as Ben, he was considered by colleagues and students as an energetic and widely learned teacher who inspired generations of Columbia students as an example of a learned, modest gentleman who was conversant in 14 languages. From the classical and Romance languages to Russian, Arabic, Hebrew, Persian, Sanskrit and even Egyptian hieroglyphics. He was married for over 50 years to the classicist Ethel Wolf of Brooklyn College. Sources: NY Times.
I mean, you know, this is the guy, okay? Just so you understand who Richard Friedman is. Actually, you want me to show you who Richard L. Friedman is? Okay, you want to see this? This is the I've done this for a very long time. Almost 9 years. I have looked up every company, CEO, executive under the sun in the public records. Never in my life have I seen something like this. Okay, let me just show you this guy's corporate holdings. And these are all business records, okay? So they're all registered agents. Let me just show you, okay, how many companies he has. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the Charles Square Hotel Restaurant Corporation. In order to find out who they actually founded it with, this is how far back I had to go. I had to go to 1983, and then I went to the Articles of Incorporation. Okay, and then when I went to those incorporations, I went to the very bottom, and I found the founders of the company. Richard Freeman, John J. Hamilton Jr., from WilmerHale, and then Coleman Benedict. And I was like, oh, bro, I'm good. I'm really good. There's one record. Literally, none. He's not, Coleman Benedict is not on any of the other records for the Charles Square Hotel. This dude owns the Charles Square Hotel. This dude owns half of fucking Cambridge. This single man owns so much property and so many companies and restaurants and hotels and planes and holding companies for his planes. I've never seen anything like it. He owns a company with Chris Dodd's wife, or did own a company with the senator's Chris Dodd's wife. There are holding companies in here for the dude's planes, okay? So, Hot Air is a holding company for N104RF LLC, which was the dude's plane. Now, what's a little weird about this dude's plane is he sells the thing, according to the FAA records, in February, or like maybe like late 2019, I think late 2019, early 2020. It's a little weird. That's like that plane. I don't know what this dude was. I don't know. You're going to find out Epstein called him a lot. A lot. I don't know why. I don't really understand. I have some idea what was going on now. It was a very big kind of political real estate sort of deal. But the companies, this is only just, we're looking at maybe like 25 to 50 companies. When you actually go into these, a lot of them are cross-registered Delaware and Florida companies. This guy, it's incredible. Like, it's literally like watching the game Monopoly in real life. He gobbled up so much of Harvard Square, it's almost unbelievable. So when you actually pull it back, like Epstein was the power player, but he knew how to get close to real power. Oh, Charles, how are you? God bless you. Charles says, keep up the good work. I am South African, 67-year-old grandfather. This is all sick. Well, first of all, I just want to say I would love to come one day if you would have me for a Barbie, okay, or some brekkie. I have a girlfriend, Charles, that is South African. She is wonderful. God bless you and all of the people of South Africa. Charles, It is so good to say hello, and your support is eternally appreciated. God bless the people of South Africa. It sounds like a wonderful country. I'm going to come visit. We can have a Barbie. We can have some brekkie. We can go, down the water. I only know 2 South African phrases. I don't know any Afrikaans, but I'm working on it, one day at a time. Thank you so much, though, for your support, really. So I don't know if you knew that Towel Girlfriend is from South Africa. Her name is Nikki. She's wonderful. But we love our South African towels for many reasons, so thank you so much for that. That really warmed my heart. So again, we got about 90 minutes left, by the way. I'm going to end around 9 tonight. 1, because I need to sleep. I can't keep staying up till 1 in the morning. I'm disabled. It actually hurts me in the morning. I almost threw up this morning. It was not good. Second of all, I'm tired. And also, it's good to see you all. So, I kind of did you know, some days when I don't stream, it's not like I, get anxious. Like, I have other stuff. It's actually hard to work and stream, if you can imagine. So I like to work and then stream, but I miss you all. I don't like parasocial relationships. I know a lot of you. If you want to talk to me, you can just talk to me. I don't really believe in the whole parasocial thing. So I know a lot of you, and I have for years. So I guess it's kind of like this is the social interaction. Well, I hang out with Top Girlfriend a lot, but I like this. I like being able to talk to you all. I like to answer your questions. I like to hear all your different perspectives. I like to share information with you. I think it makes me happy. So, the cases don't always make me happy, obviously, or the coverage. I get very mad. I get sad. I cry sometimes. I get angry. But on the whole, being with you all, I think, is a very warm, bright spot among all of that tragedy. So, God bless you all. Oh, Charles says they are English and from Durban. Oh, that's wonderful. I have never been anywhere in the country of South Africa. I understand there is an airport in Joburg. I don't know. I know it's Johannesburg. I don't know where Joburg is. I just know there's an airport there. So, step 1, I have figured out where the main airport is. I think there's an airport in Cape Town, but Joburg is where you want to go. I also found out it's very hard. It's not hard to get into South Africa. It's hard to get to South Africa. It takes 22 hours. Even if your time it's of the layover in England is only a little bit, it takes 22 hours to get to South Africa. Sorry about that. I use a satellite-based internet, so every once in a while, when the satellite's literally going around the dark side of the earth, it doesn't have a permanent uplink. If you ever get a 10-second drop, you'll come right back. It's literally just the satellites. It's completely out of my control. But anyway, my point is, I love South Africa. I would love to come visit someday. I don't know where Joburg is. I know that's where the airport is. I'm going to start there. We'll figure it. The rest of it, we'll just figure it out, Grant, OTRAG in South Africa. I don't know what that acronym means. I'm going to be very careful when I go there. Obviously, it's a beautiful country. I've heard wonderful things. The people are lovely. But it's just very politically active. And I'm not from South Africa, so I'm not going to get involved. I think that's up to them. I'm a tourist. I just would like to see the beautiful countryside. I would like to see, and I also don't have a lot. So, if somebody came up to me and were like, can you help? Or, wanted something, I'd be like, you want me to, buy you food? I don't have a lot, but I'll give you food. So, anyway, it sounds like a very nice country. I don't know if we're going to go to certain, areas. Depending, there can be protests. There can be, it's very politically active. So, I don't know where we're going. All I know is the airport's in Joburg. But yes, I'm kind of really excited for that. It's not going to happen for a little bit, and we will travel vlog it. Towel Girlfriend really wants to try travel vlogging. I really want to try it as well. I don't know what that's going to be like. I imagine we just go get on the plane. She films me, I film her. We talk about things. I hug her. We, all that romantic stuff, I imagine. I don't know. She'll figure it out. All right, let's get back to our work. All right, so my point is, just so you understand what we're dealing with, and by the way, yes, I did go through thousands of filings today because I was looking for the name. I was looking for any name that would get me to what I wanted. Now, there's a lot of people on this, okay? You need like an entire like team to digest all these connections between like Epstein, the real estate holding companies, the restaurants, whatever they were all doing, okay? The academics, the money men, whatever, okay? You need a lot of people, but I think we are very close. Just like that smoking gun with Connor, to Greg Connor's campaign, to his treasurer, to Epstein. I think we are very, very close to linking Epstein to Marina Bay and Michael Morrissey. I think we are, now, maybe the DOJ's already done it. The sense that I have is that the Democrats in this state are in a lot of trouble. A lot. They did some very bad stuff. And there's paper trails. The other thing is they're dumb criminals. I'm not talking about Richard Friedman. He's just an example of someone who has a lot of corporate holdings. And in fact, if there was something in there that I thought was a smoking gun beyond his direct contact with Epstein, I would be telling you. There's a lot of stuff in there that's very interesting. Okay, the senator's wife's connection. It's only one company, but you find it in there. The Wilmer Hale connection, the connection to the guy who's basically like when you're inheriting seats on the New York Stock Exchange, bro, like you're the type of person Gloria Vanderbilt had to create her 400 list because you wouldn't let her into your parties, you know? So she had to create better parties. She was the T-Swift of her era, you know? There was only one era. Life didn't go fast enough to have fucking eras in 1907. Go to the dinner party and be quiet. Please. The fucking dinner party was the biggest social event of like the fall. You had to wait for it for like 3 months. You went to a fucking dinner party and then people talked about it. Like, can you imagine this? Okay, can you imagine your life, okay, being the pace where for 3 months, like 500 people go to this big dinner party. The whole community talks about them going for 3 months, like what they're gonna wear, who they're gonna go with, what carriage they're gonna arrive in, what horse they have. I don't fucking know what people did back then. Sashayed around with, you know, various swords, and I'm not really sure. That might have been the pirate era, but you know, whatever they did in 1907, you know, soireeing and all that. My point is, they would just imagine you go to this thing, okay, and then not like on the TV or in the newspaper, but for months around you afterwards, at the tavern, at the nail salon, at the barber, at the Nickelodeon, which was the early name for nickel theater, you know, back in the day. People would be like, oh yeah, did you see, like, you know, Bonnie the German heiress and her Viscountess, like, husband, like, wore like some kind of fox fur, and then Miss Lady Havisham screamed at them because that's unethical, and the fox, you know, somebody, you know, they got in a fight, and then someone said the other person was like a trifling interloper, and I don't know. But my point is, that was life back then. That's all they had to fucking talk about. They did not have YouTube. All this stuff we see nowadays, very slow. It was boring, in fact. If you weren't around in the analog era, it was fun. It was nice. It was very personable and human, but it was boring. Oh, Sarah B. Creative says, for security, my friend, please be careful of these all hat and no cattle. Yes, I'm gonna get myself. God bless you, Sarah. I'm gonna. I'll have to hire myself. I'd like to hire myself, you know, some kind of security if I go to South Africa. I don't think we're gonna do that, but you know, maybe we'll. All right. So, what else was I talking about here? All right. So, pulling it back here, what you end up seeing with this connection, with this network, one, it's not normally something that the federal government would ever prosecute. Why? Because it's very political. And you can be like, yeah, but one side hates the other side. Yeah, but they don't normally go after each other. Not like this. This is different, though. You got to think about the political constellation here. Okay, think about what's going on. When are the midterms? They're 3 months from now. Do you think there's anything coming that's going to save the Republicans in the midterm? They got one shot. Don't miss. You got one shot to leave an unpalatable taste in swing state voters in like 6 districts in California, a few in New Mexico, a few in Arizona, a few in Wisconsin, a few in Michigan, a few in Pennsylvania, 1 or 2 in Delaware, 1 in Jersey. All right, that's the midterms. Everybody else is going to vote red or blue. You got one chance to swing those districts. And the consequence of losing the midterms is an impeachment trial for Mr. President. So, this is creative politics. And that's what I would do. The Republican Party needs a jolt. It needs a populist jolt. And this is a good way to do it. And the country was not moving on from the Epstein files. It just wasn't. And that was the problem. Like, people, you could buy a little buffer time with the war, which is really where I think the war came from. You could buy a little buffer time, but the public's not going to stop. The judges are going to order more files released. People want this information. So you got to give them. That's why Watergate didn't stop with the initial charges, because the public knew that it wasn't those CIA burglars and the Cubans. Okay? They knew it was something more, and they didn't stop until they got the big fish. No one was going to stop with Epstein's death. They wanted the politicians. It just so happens to be things are aligning where first of all, the Democratic Party wouldn't be in trouble for this. Mind you, Michael Morrissey's a Democrat. Okay? A lot of them are Dems. The Democratic Party wouldn't be in trouble for this if they didn't play ball with Epstein. They made their own bed here. They're only lying in this because they chose. Now that you've seen how the proverbial sausage is made, those of you in Massachusetts, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. It was actually the Democrats. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, but the Democrats are like socialist commies, like, yeah, no. What's going on with all these Frank? Oh, we're fine. No, maybe the rank and file, but do you really think the leaders of the Democratic Party are socialists? Are you crazy? And they just wanted you to think that. They're not even capitalists. What does that look like to you? That's an oligarch. I had a Professor Moriarty moment with this dude. I was like, I kind of want to go talk to. I do and don't want to go talk to this dude. You may think you're smart, and you probably are, but you do it without notes. Like, seriously, do it without notes. It's really hard. Oh, hello, Four Cats Chrissy. Four Cats Chrissy says, hello, Towels. Grant, how can I find your email? I have a couple links I would like to send, and also some cute pictures to make you smile. I do love cat pictures. These links are places that can be of value or not about the trafficking. Meow. First of all, I love everything about that super chat. God bless you, Four Cats Chrissy. So a lot of people have been asking this question. What's the bet? Like, how do you actually get Grant to see something quickly? The best way to do it is Grant Smith Ellis at Gmail and then .com. Okay, so I broke up the link there. Grant Smith Ellis at gmail.com. Oh, sorry. I clicked your name by accident when I went to reply to your comment. So, Four Cats Chrissy, if you would like to do so, you absolutely can email me. I would love to see those pictures, especially when I wake up tomorrow. I'll tell you, did you know Towel Girlfriend Nikki and I have a cat? His name is Kyle. He knows my voice, okay? He is more protective of Towel Girlfriend than me. And by protective, I mean, he does keep watch, but he mostly just likes to be a cat. He likes to lay in the sun. Sometimes he goes and looks at other cats. Sometimes he looks at the birds. Sometimes he just disappears. But on the whole, he just lays around. So I love him. I think he's great. He's great. He smiles. He's a little cat. Yeah, we love Kyle the cat. This is your mental decompression break, by the way, and you might very well get a song. I think we're going to hit our chat goal tonight. You're all wonderful. And I know I was supposed to take the weekend off, but I missed you all very much, so look at that. Bonus towel, and we're going to hit our chat goal, potentially. This is a glorious day. All right, let's go back to our in-depth document. Hopefully we'll get through this. It shouldn't take too long because a lot of them are repeats. When they are repeats, I'll skip them and just point out how often someone is being called. And that was your explication of who exactly that man is, whatever his name is. Richard Friedman, who does come up in the document. All right, where's that one? That's the root. All right, I don't want that one. Where is the one I was just looking at? Is it this one? No. All right, give me 1 second. I don't even need it to be in that format, though. Oh, and then that was the guy, of course, who owned the... that was the guy who owned the company that we were just looking at. All right, let's pick up with British Reporter Towel. Let's take a look at more Epstein phone calls in Massachusetts. Picking up after the Friedman one, please. We just did Friedman, so let's go to the next one.
Also this, Carmen Ortiz, HTTP URL.
Oh yeah, want to see what happens if you steal from Mr. Friedman? By the way, this is the same Carmen Ortiz who helped Robert Devine become deputy chief in Stoughton, and by taking out the 2 people above him, and the same Carmen Ortiz who didn't get to become senator because she was terribly cruel to Aaron Schwartz. And let her know it. Let her know it. Hashtag draft Elizabeth
Also
Warren.
this, Carmen Ortiz, HTTP URL.
Alright, let's actually listen.
Ex-controller of Carpenter and Company sentenced on fraud and tax charges. Boston, Massachusetts. A Pembroke man was sentenced yesterday in federal court for embezzling nearly $500,000 from his employer and failing to report monies stolen and legitimate bonus payments on his federal tax returns. Matthew J. A. Bushiri, 37, of Pembroke, formerly of Whitman, was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Nathaniel Gorton to 37 months imprisonment, to be followed by 2 years of supervised release and ordered to pay a $469,403 fine.
You might be saying to yourself, Judge Gordon, isn't he hearing Mario Michalakis, that plea, the sentencing on September 8th? Yeah, it's the same one.
ABUSHEERY pleaded guilty to July 14, 2010 to 5 counts of wire fraud and 2 counts of subscribing a false tax return.
And, by the way, let me be clear. Imagine how this guy felt in 2011. He must have known his boss was talking to Epstein. Meanwhile, Carmen Ortiz is federally prosecuting him. How much do you want to bet this was about a little bit more than him taking the money?
Had the case proceeded to trial, the government's evidence would have proven that from October 2006 through September 2008, utilizing 2 separate schemes, Bushiri embezzled more than $450,000 from Carpenter and Company, a Cambridge-based real estate development and management company.
Oh, is that
At the time he stole the money, Bushiri was Carpenter's controller and a member of the company's management team. As controller, Bushiri was responsible for various accounting operations, to include payroll and the day-to-day management of the accounting department, including the accounts payable operation and overseeing Carpenter's petty cash account. The evidence at trial would have shown that ABUSHEERY embezzled the money from his employer using 2 schemes. First, in the payroll fraud scheme, Bushiri fraudulently inflated his biweekly salary, causing himself to be paid an amount in excess of his authorized salary. In the years 2006 to 2008, ABUSHEERY's legitimate compensation from Carpenter, including his salary and annual bonus, ranged between $160,000 and $230,000. Carpenter used a private payroll processing service, Paychex, to handle its employees' payroll. ABUSHEERY was one of only 2 people at Carpenter who had access to the Paychex payroll system. ABUSHEERY used his access to the Paychex payroll.
I wonder if the other one was Richard Friedman.
ABUSHEERY used his access to the Paychex payroll system to fraudulently inflate the amounts of money Paychex wire transfer by interstate wires to his personal bank account. Thus, by manipulating the Paychex payroll system, Bushiri caused an additional $23,454 in 2006, $65, $231 in 2007 and $106,000 in 2008, to be deposited into his personal bank. In a second scheme, involving
So you don't need to hear the second scheme, but you get the point. If you cross this guy back in the day, Epstein or this guy, they had friends. And the punishment was charges. No, hold on. Sorry about that. I have to go back to, where is it? Oh, that's very annoying. All right, now let's go back to our document. But the point remains the same. So you saw the Carmen Ortiz link. These people were very, very powerful. They are not very powerful right now. They hate President Trump for a reason. People didn't believe him when he was like he was going to get the people who were hurting the kids. Nobody believed him because everyone was like, "Oh, that's just QAnon, like nonsense, like whatever." Yeah, he wanted you to think that. That worked to his benefit, I assure you. Okay. Okay, let's take a listen to this.
Clegg Clem Friedman LLC, opened 2003, closed 2021. His wife is Nancy Clem. See here http URL. Jackie Marie Clegg is the wife of U.S. Senator Christopher John Dodd. Jackie Clegg is a legislative assistant for GARM, J-R-U-T, in the U.S. Senate with one video in the C-SPAN. Video library. The first appearance was a 1988 forum. Jackie Clegg Dodd. Previously held. Position Senate Democratic Conference Committee, January 2017 August 2017, Senator Chuck Schumer, DNY, Legislative Aide. Plane registered to Friedman http URL. Plane sold 2019 http URL. 40. 12/13 2:40 p.m. Boston, Massachusetts XXXXXX3700 flat 1.40.10 XXXXXX3700 Martin G. Weinberg, Boston Federal Criminal Defense Lawyer. 50. 12/18 3:16 p.m. Brookline Mar XXXXXX3363 flat 3.60.25 Marvin Minsky Foundation. 52. 12/19 12:59 p.m. Weymouth Mar XXXXXX4657 flat 0.30.02 MIT Professor Seth Lloyd. 25. 10/27 4:35 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX7855 flat 0.50.04 Alan M. Dershowitz. XXXXXX8721. Dot. Fax. XXXXXX7855. 10/20 11:42 a.m. Boston, Massachusetts XXXXXX8721 flat 7.80.55 XXXXXX872135 Medford Street, St. 201 Somerville, Ma. Formlabs is the professional 3D printer of choice for engineers. 22. 10/27 10:31 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX2187 flat 0.30.02 De Hoswitz XXXXXX2187. 27. 10/27 2:24 p.m. Brookline Mar XXXXXX3363 flat 0.70.05 Marvin Minsky Foundation. 48. 11:01 p.m. Boston, Massachusetts XXXXXX8721 flat 0.30.02 XXXXXX872135 Medford Street, St. 201 Somerville, Ma. Formlabs is the professional 3D printer of choice for engineers. 6. 11:06 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX1200 flat 0.70.0 The Charles Hotel, Harvard Square. 7. 11:06 p.m. Brookline Mar XXXXXX7983 flat 1.10.08 Harvard Professor Arthur Goodhue. Fieltzer. 9. 11:07 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX3932 flat 0.30.02 Mark L. Hatzenberger. Department of Psychology, Harvard Psychology Department. 23. 11/10 8:39 a.m. Brighton Mar XXXXXX9892 flat 0.90.06 De Hoswitz XXXXXX9892. 13. 10:23, 10:35 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX1200 flat 3.00.21, The Charles Hotel, Harvard Square. 18. 11:03, 10:43 a.m. Brighton, Mar XXXX
Dershowitz.
11:03
Forum Labs. Richard Friedman.
11:06, 2:31 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX2800 flat 1.50.11, Richard Friedman Carpenter.
Okay, let's go to the next one. We already know about the background for Friedman. Each time Friedman was there, I put the background for reference. Okay, so the next one is... Where's the next one? Well, he called Friedman again because I put him in twice. So the next one is 34, Dershowitz. Give me 1 second. He actually called Friedman like 3 times in a row. So, all right, next one, Dershowitz.
11.
Next one.
11:07, 4:48 p.m. Lynn, Massachusetts XXXXXX6390 flat 0.30.02. Contact Mark Jude Tramo, MD, PhD. Phone XXXXXX6390, Harvard Dr. HTTP URL. 38. 11:08, 10:43 a.m. Brookline, Mar.
Arthur Goodhue.
11:08, 3:47 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX901 flat 0.60.04. William James Hall, number.
It's the main switchboard of a building. At
11:10, 8:59 a.m. Brighton, Mar.
That hosts like the psychology department. And then Dershowitz again, and then the Lowell one.
9:21, 5:04 p.m. Lowell, Massachusetts XXXXXX1135 flat 5.60.39. Philip Mueller. Philip may also be known as Philip Lee Mueller and Philip L. Miller. Philip Miller, ed. M. 80, taught children's television class. Miller, a former teacher and producer at Massachusetts Educational Television, now works in a similarly unexpected job, intellectual property attorney. See here, HTTP URL.
Then he called
18.
Mueller again.
9:20 seconds.
He actually calls him 3 times in a row. Then he calls Dershowitz. Okay. Then the one on 9:21 is of course interesting.
9:21, 11:41 a.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX1953 flat 2.00.14. Lawrence H. Summers, President, Harvard. See here, HTTP URL. 23.
Then Dershowitz.
9:26, 4:14 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX9322 flat 1.00.07. Lawrence H. Summers, XXXXXX9322. From LarrySummers.com. Office address: John F. Kennedy School of Government. Litauer Room 242. Phone: XXXXXX9322. Fax: XXXXXX0436. Office hours by appointment. See here, HTTP URL. 15. 9:21, 1:49 p.m. Boston, Massachusetts XXXXXX2578 flat 1.10.08. Seems to be Mass Eye and Ear. Hospital number unlisted. 20. 9:21, 4:55 p.m. Cambridge, Massachusetts XXXXXX1982 flat 0.30.02. David Gergen at Harvard Kennedy School is an expert in political campaigns. Office: XXXXXX1982. Also a high level government source for diplomatic cables.
Let's take a look at his high level government diplomatic cable source thing. Let's take a look. So, who is this man? Let's take a listen to this diplomatic cable. Ever seen a diplomatic cable? They're very interesting.
Media organizations. Request for a DVC with Thomas Mann and David Gergen to discuss the U.S. elections. Date. Canonical ID. Original classification. Current classification. Handling restrictions. Character count. Executive order. Locator. Tags. Concepts. Enclosure. Type. Office origin. Office action. Archive status. From. Markings. 2. Discuss the U.S. elections. 1. Program description. Post requests a DVC with highly respected congressional scholar Thomas Mann and political analyst David Gergen. To discuss the state of the 2008 elections, the candidates, their policies, and their potential impact on Congress and the presidency. 2. Preferred activity date, fiscal year, AND quarter. This is an FY08 program, which is requested ideally for the week of the 15th of September, 4th quarter, 5 to 6 p.m. Washington time equals 0900 NZ time. The following day. The ideal would be 16th 5 to 6 p.m. DC, NY time, which would be the 17th of September 9 to 10 a.m. NZ time. Justification of program. The national climate for the 2008 elections portends big changes in the USA, and Post would like to discuss the possible implications for New Zealand and the world. There is a huge amount of interest in these elections in New Zealand. Mann and Gergen would form a perfect team, the former speaking widely on issues related to campaigns, elections, and the effectiveness of Congress. He has conducted polls for congressional candidates and overseen national public opinion studies. Gergen, best known as a political consultant and presidential advisor, would use his experience to comment on relevant issues. There would be a good deal of interest amongst our contacts in these two interlocutors, and we would be providing top-notch candidates for this important public affairs event. Post regards a DVC with our contacts in Auckland and Wellington at this post-convention time as a most valuable opportunity for our contacts to discuss election issues directly with these interlocutors, who are highly respected in their fields. John Johansson, a New Zealand scholar of the US election process, believes that by mid-September we should have a very good view of the shakedown between McCain and Obama. This DVC is thanks to John for his support of our election programs in New Zealand, and he requested Gergen. 4. MPP theme and expected audience. MPP Goal 0801 Mutual Understanding. Audience expected to include members of the New Zealand government, including members of parliament, local body, politicians, lobbyists, political consultants, government officials, and foreign embassies, academics, opinion makers, policy makers, members of the New Zealand Institute of International Affairs. NZI. David Gergen, currently a professor of public service at Harvard's John F. Kennedy School of Government and director of its Center for Public Leadership. He is also editor-at-large for U.S. News and World Report and a senior political analyst for CNN. Gergen has served as a White House advisor to Presidents Nixon, Ford, Reagan and Clinton. Address, 79 JFK Street, Cambridge, Massachusetts. McCormick. Please advise soonest. Many thanks. McCormick.
Good job, McCormick. Excellent job, McCormick. You did a really good job on that diplomatic cable. Have you ever wanted to see a diplomatic cable? I'm sure some of you are like, wait, that's how the government communicates?
Help expand the...
All right. Yes, that's how they communicate. They're very odd. I mean, to put it lightly, they're odd. All right, where are we here? Which one are we at? Let's see. Seems to be Mass INE listed, number unlisted. I think it was a little after this one. All right, hold on. Was it 1:49 p.m.? Yep, here we go.
9:21, 1:49 p.m.
Then it's Philip Miller again. Then it's Philip Miller again. Then it's Dershowitz. Then it's Gergen's wife, Anne E. Gergen. Then it's Dershowitz again. Then it's Dershowitz again. Then it's Dershowitz again. Then it's Martin Novak's brother, Philip. Martin seems to have been at his brother's house because there's indications that he would send messages to Epstein's assistant telling him to call him back at that number, which is not his house, it's his brother's house. Okay, same thing. So 9:29 at 9:10 a.m. September 29th at 12:26 p.m. Gergen again. Different phone number though that I had to confirm through an SEC filing. The next one is Henry Rozavowski. All right, he's a professor emeritus at Harvard University. He was a legendary economist, long-serving dean of Harvard's Faculty of Arts and Sciences, and twice acting president of Harvard University. He was historically associated with Loeb House, the home of Harvard Corporation, where he served as a member. He passed away in November of 2022 at age 95. Then you had Larry Summers again, right after that guy. Then right after Larry Summers, Harry Rozowski again. So this guy was just ping-ponging between Harvard presidents. And he had a connection to like one of the original Harvard presidents through Friedman. This guy was, I think he was KGB. Because I believe Epstein was KGB. I'm almost 100%. Because the tactic of KGB is to get close to American power and then get information, compromise them, and then get them to do things to help Russia. I swear to you, it's the classic KGB playbook. And this guy, Epstein, I really do believe, like he offered tax, like evasion stuff. He offered them access to prostitutes. He offered them drugs. He offered some of them children. But the real funding, the real muscle behind it was the same people behind Adnan Khashoggi. It wasn't Mossad. It wasn't any of the European groups. It was simply the KGB. It was actually the SVR who came up with this, or whatever it was. The SVR first, and then the KGB. It was the Soviet intelligence which passed down its control structure through Putin. Where do you think he learned his trade? And then Putin, remember, Putin has been at war with the United States ever since we kicked him out of the G8. Do you remember when we kicked President Putin out of the G8? As soon as tensions between Moscow and Washington started rising, I'd say it's not even tensions. Think about this. When did the Moscow theater bombings occur? When did the apartment bombings occur? 2000. That's what propelled Putin into power. You must understand. Putin was a no one. He was like a hanger-on before those apartment building bombings. He used those bombings and the theater siege as like the 9/11 of his country. And he stormed to power on the back of those attacks. Do you know what happened between 2000 and 2008? Russia was a parliamentary democracy. It had a Duma, a strong parliament. Putin had to deal with the oligarchs who rose during perestroika. Perestroika was what happened during the collapse of the Soviet Union. I want to say under Brezhnev, the guy with the spot, all right? Gorbachev, I don't remember. So anyway, the end of the Soviet Union was actually like a hybrid form of capitalism. All it really did was lead to the fall of the Soviet Union, but the power structure didn't just go away. It's like after Epstein died, the money and all that stuff and the properties and it just all stayed, but just not run by the same structure. Okay, so that led to, in the 90s, the rise of three men who interestingly intersect with some of my other reporting. Andrei Bloch, Boris Jordan, and Roman Abramovich, okay? Andrei Bloch was like a steel magnate. Boris Jordan like ran the fucking dairy industry, and then I forget what Abramovich did. He was like more just like, he had multiple companies. He was bigger than the other two. And what happened was these oligarchs, it wasn't just those three. There was an oligarch class in Russia post fall of Soviet Union, post perestroika. So we're talking like 92 through like 2000. They were fighting a war of attrition with Putin. Putin eventually like would drag them on TV and just like threaten them, because the KGB, you might have money, the KGB has like psychological warfare, prostitutes, drugs, surveillance, gulags, assassinations, and like go to the front lines, like anything you can think of, the KGB will do to you. So Putin had to deal with these oligarchs. He didn't have to deal with the Duma. He had to deal with the money that was left over after perestroika that had consolidated in the hands of these oligarchs. He did. By 2008, and I can show you cables about this, okay? By 2008, Putin consolidates control of the Duma and becomes president for life. Think about the rise of Epstein. It was Adnan Khashoggi's operation, but was it operating in America? You think Adnan Khashoggi was operating in America? No. He might have had some American politicians like hooked in his network, but he was out working for like the Sultan of Brunei, like the Saudi Arabian, like the old order there under MBS and his predecessor, the Wahhabists in Kandahar. Like these were his guys. Okay, little European aristocracy, money laundering, art theft, all the normal shit for these criminals. All right, but the difference is that Epstein was how are you going to penetrate American society? You think we're going to let a fucking Ruski come fucking hang around? No, bro. Dude, even to this day, if you're a Russian and it's not clear that you love America, people are going to look at you weird because that's the Cold War. We're just trained to be on guard for the Russians. They've always hated us. So we know that, all right? How are you going to infiltrate this country and destroy it? You want me to tell you how to do it? I mean, it's happened. They already went to war with us domestically. You know what you do? Induce moral degeneracy, blackmail the politicians, create artificial extremist politics that have absolutely nothing to do with legitimate democracy, but only tear people apart at the seams. And then once the country's at its weakest, you swoop in and you have people openly proclaiming that it's time for communism. Yep. We caught him, though. Do you understand that's why the national security state is actually moving on this? Because Putin's very weak. He ran his op. It didn't really work. That's why I got so mad at people when they were going at President Trump over the Epstein files. I was like, hey, fucking Russian sympathizers. Hello? First of all, it was the Democrats. Second of all, if you want to stop this, you got to make sure that we can rally the troops and that people will support, first of all, Ukraine. That was step one. But then, when the time comes, when it's time to expose these people, you've got to support calling them out, even if they're Democrats. That's what enabled this. All right? And I know it's tough for a lot of you because it is morally egregious behavior by a lot of politicians, okay? But you got to look at I'm showing you the evidence. You got to look at the networks. You got to look at the party affiliation. And you got to ask yourself, was this, on the whole, a problem that was caused by the Democratic Party or the Republican Party? And the answer is, and I am a nonpartisan, I'm more Republican now, but I used to be in the Democratic Party. I was a delegate to state conventions. I am authorized to speak from this perspective. Not for anybody, but I'm saying I was inside the machine. It is the fault of the Democratic Party, not Democrats, not liberals. There's some really decent Democrats and liberals, but the political machine that was, especially in Massachusetts, the Democratic Party. It became completely removed from its ideals. It got complacent. And frankly, we just kept fucking voting for them. So why wouldn't they? They were like, who gives a fuck? They're just going to vote for, if we lose one Democrat, we'll throw another fucking Democrat up there. They'll vote for that guy or that girl. They don't give a shit. And as long as it says D, they'll vote Democrat. They like to ride, you know what I mean? That was a good one. So, you get where I'm coming from here. That's right. Like, we got to have a reckoning as a Democratic Party, and we already are. Adam Deitch is not... Does Adam Deitch sound like a fucking DEI fucking Democrat? No. No. Absolutely not. He is a Democrat. He's closer to like a Kennedy Democrat, in fact, if you actually listen to him. You see him extolling like any of that communist nonsense? No, because he realized that doesn't win votes. It might win you an election where just because it's a D against an R, you will win, but it won't actually win your hearts and minds. Adam Deitch and Diana DeZoglio are the only two Democrats in office anywhere in Massachusetts that have actually figured it out. Republicans don't mind voting for a Democrat. And in fact, if more Democrats didn't mind voting for a Republican, the system would actually work a lot better. That's kind of where we run in. Massachusetts is actually a perfect place to clean this shit up because it happened here over and over and over again, and because we have the most complacent, lazy, detached Democratic voting base. And I'm not talking about any of you in the chat or those of you who actually know what you're talking about or vote because you care or are informed. That you're watching this. You're obviously not among that group. But on the whole, the electorate is detached and will vote for the Democrat. Now listen, like I said, was a Democrat. The Democratic Party left me. Do you know how chaotic it is inside the Democratic Party? You got 80 different people who think that their ideology is more important than like whether someone should eat that night. They're like, oh, somebody eating? Fuck that, bro. I'm trying to like get giraffes into girl sports and shit. And I'm like, all right, bro, first of all, you can just watch the movie Air Bud, all right? You know, like chill. Like chill, all right? Like we're cool, all right? Just watch the movie. Second of all, my actual policy position on that is as long as there's an equivalent male and female sport, then you need to play the sport associated with your biological gender. Okay? And if you are a hermaphrodite, which is a thing, I do not want to, don't even think for 1 second there are not people who are born as hermaphrodites and that actually need to get an answer about how they should be allowed to compete in these sports. I don't mind setting testosterone limits and things like that. Each governing body should do their own thing. But my point is, you can't have 90 people making a party platform where each like subgroup gets treated as a fucking like kindergartner. We're like, oh yeah, you want to paint the wall purple? Oh, we'll put that right in the party platform. You're doing very well. I can't believe you wrote that. You wrote a whole sentence that says you want to color the wall purple. I'm proud you made it to the discussion. We're going to put that in the party platform. I'm being a little facetious, but you must understand I've been inside the party platform conventions. I have seen them drafting their party platforms. Now, are there some ideas in there that independently, like if you implemented them, could probably benefit people on the whole, lead to economic growth? Sure. Like 1 out of 10. There's stuff in there that could work if you actually implemented it. But the problem is it's surrounded by policy that is just vacuous ideology. It's like giving a medal to everyone who shows up. And it's stupid. So I hate it. I'm sorry. The Democratic Party did this. I had that bundler begging me today. He was like, please don't do this. Like, why are you doing this? Like, you were a Democrat. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, excuse me. The reason we ended up in this position is because you complacent, you know what I said to him? I was like, you fucking aristocratic, it reminds me of the movie Metropolis. You all sit around and you're fucking lazy and you feel entitled in politics and the Democrats deserve this. And he was like, please don't. And I was like, oh, yes, I will. He got all mad. And I was like, fuck you and fuck your money. And he was like, I'm leaving politics. I was like, that's a very good life decision, sir. He was a big bundler too. The Dems are fucked. And I had to talk to him personally because it had been a while too, and I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck if you have $100 million, $1 billion, or $0. If you can argue your point, I will listen to you. This man, I told him 6 months ago, I said, if the Democratic Party does not take accountability for what it did, if it continues to play politics with these victims, I'm going to politically teach all of you a lesson. I told them, I said, tell your people. They didn't listen. Whoops. And frankly, the Democratic Party needs to do some soul searching. It needs like 20 to 30 years The party, not the people. Because I did have someone in the comments be like, well, Grant, sometimes you get so mad at the party, you like conflate, even though you don't mean to, you conflate the people like on the ground with the party. They're two different things. Trust me, I talk to very nice like liberal people all the time. I talk to very nice conservative people all the time. You want to know the biggest difference between liberals and conservatives? Sanctimonious behavior. Conservatives do, and trust me, I can tell you this from experience, conservatives do not talk about their generosity. That's why they get a bad rep. They really don't. They just do nice things, and then they move on. And they might be strong-willed on their opinions, but like when it comes to actually like helping, they just don't advertise it. They're not opposed to charity or helping. They just don't think you need to like brag about it. You just help, and then do your shit, and then move on. Just, you did a good thing. Maybe you like smile a little bit and you feel good about it and everybody's happy. Maybe you get a card, you know, like it's great. You don't do it expecting anything. You just help and move on. You don't say it. You just move on. So when they see these liberals out there being like, I care so much about like this group and that group, and it's like, okay, so what have you actually done? Like slogans are not actually helping. What are you doing? And a lot of Dems feel this way. I'm in a very strong Dem like stronghold. Like you can say that reflexively. It's a Dem stronghold. It votes Democrat all the time. And there's a lot of disillusionment. They don't know what to do. What the fuck are you going to do in Massachusetts? Almost everybody is a Dem on the ballot. But they don't know what to do. It got out of control. I'm sure other states are bad. I'm not denying what happened in the north of this country with some of that fraud was bad. I'm not denying it. But when you look at this list, you see it. Like, I haven't done every state, but our state is on there more than almost everyone else. And it's because our Democratic politicians were willing to go along with this. And Obama has a lot to answer for, too. Okay? His legacy is scarred by this. And by what Kathy Rumler did. And he knows it. And he can go out there and play basketball at his fucking presidential library. He can smile, but this must wear on him. He knows what he enabled. There is no chance in hell he didn't know about this. I don't believe it for a second. That's what really bothers me. He should have stopped it. He caused this. And I swear, if it is actually Russia, then there's going to, for the next like 20 years, if this operation, not just in Massachusetts, although I don't know how far it will actually get looked into, but if these people, any of them, knowingly worked with agents of foreign countries to run brothels, to blackmail our politicians, judges, and police, they have committed treason. They have committed, if they had knowledge that it was a foreign state that they were involved in with, they have committed treason. And until we start talking about it in those terms, it is never going to be fixed. Because it has to matter when you betray your country. It can't just be, well, fuck, man, the world sucked, you know, we just needed a quick buck. No! Literally, these people, I don't even know what light treason is, I suppose, compared to this. Like, hurting children, like killing people, doing terrible things, brothels, all this. I suppose light treason compared to that would be like stealing some low-level documents. You know, it's still treason. But compared to this, it's light treason. Anyone who knowingly enabled this while recognizing it was the product of foreign state actors, like Russia, who wanted to destroy America, they are traitors. We have to have a modern House Un-American Activities Committee. We have to bring them before it, and we have to say, sir, on this date, in this year, were you speaking to agents of the Russian government? We have to treat this it is as serious, if not more serious, than any act of war committed against this country ever. Because the way that it infected the system caused more harm in isolation than any one attack ever. It was pernicious. It took generations of our children. Do you know how many kids there are out there that were benzoed out and don't even know that they were abused? What the fuck? What have we done? We just got a bunch of fucking zombies out there who, thank God, they survived. What is it? The children of privilege got to survive. The underprivileged ones, you know, if they had to go, they had to go. And then the girls from the lower classes would work the brothels. Is that how it was? It was an industry. They turned this country into an industry of perversion and debauchery. Not because of the pleasure, you must understand, but because it destroys the society. You can't be proud of a culture where your politicians are fucking children. And that's why this reckoning has happened. Because the politicians did not care about this country. And that's really the bottom line of all this. I can show you all the records. I can show you all the different people Epstein talked to. I can show you, and we will. I'll keep going. But that's the bottom line. There are people who made a conscious choice to betray the country and go along with this disgusting apparatus. And they got to live with that forever. Now, listen, yeah, listen, I love this country. It has, don't tell me that any country in the world, except for maybe like San Marino, which is, they're just hanging out. Like, they don't do it. They're just hanging out. They got a visit from the Pope. It's pretty cool. Other than maybe San Marino, don't tell me that there is a single country in this world, or maybe Easter Island, that does not have flaws. I don't care what system of government you have. I don't care how good informed your electorate is. I don't care how often you vote. It's not a thing. But I love this country. And I think what makes this so hard for me is I could never imagine myself in a situation, ever, where, forget about for money, if the KGB put a gun to my head and said, betray your country, I would say, fuck you. Where did that mentality go? These people, for money. What the... Listen, you could give me one bedroom. That's all I need. Bathroom, a computer, and my satellite internet, and my cigars, and some weed, and drink, like some energy drinks. What more do you need? Like, what the fuck did we even need all this money for? What were these people doing? I mean, how many companies do you need? How many generations of your family do you have to give a life of leisure to? What are you doing? I know what they were doing. They got in too deep. And frankly, I don't think some of them realized that the price of selling your soul is not that the devil is going to come out of the corner and be like, ha, you sold your soul now. You have to go to hell. No, bro. You're going to be miserable because, like, eventually that pact with the devil is going to come back in the form of you're going to do what your paymasters tell you to do because you slept with kids or prostitutes or did other ridiculous shit because you're selfish, short-sighted, and sold out my country. And that's how I really feel. They almost got away with it. They were very, very close. And by the way, that's why I love President Trump. Listen, first of all, he was nice to my grandpa. Okay? No reason that Mr. President Trump, a billionaire, had to spend 3 hours. Sorry, I get a little emotional about grandpa. I miss it. 3 hours with my working class grandfather. By the way, while there was a party in President Trump's home at Mar-a-Lago where there were very attractive women, more attractive than most people will ever see. Did Mr. President Trump go like gallivant off with them? No. Did he like sit at a table and like hold court with them? No. He went into a side room with a, at that time, it was, what was it, 15 years ago? So Grampy was probably in his 70s. He died in his late 80s. Maybe late 60s. He was a spruce young man. Grampy and him sat in like a darkened anteroom with like maybe 2 people in the corner. Mr. President Trump's like security. And then me making sure Grampy didn't like wander off drunk after drinking like white wine all night. So I like Mr. President Trump. I just like him as a person. And I think he made the right call with how he's approaching this situation. You can't get them all. You can't. And you got to give people a chance for a mea culpa. And if the mea culpa is bring down some really bad men who thought they were never, ever going to be held accountable, I mean, what are we complaining about? He likes to meme. We haven't had any presidents that know how to meme. You think Joe Biden knew how to fucking meme? I don't even think Joe Biden knew how to use a cell phone. Maybe one of the big cell phones with the big buttons, you know? But he definitely didn't know how to meme. Think Hillary Clinton knew how to fucking meme? Please. She was more out of touch than fucking Walter Mondale. And that's saying something. Alright, that was my political lecture. Let's see how much I can get done in 23 minutes. I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. I'm tired. We have a big week. We got the Rosemary Scapiccio hearing on Thursday. Inevitably, something ridiculous will happen. You know, we already have the Greg Conner thing with Jeffrey Epstein. The week hasn't fucking started yet. Well, it's technically tomorrow in Iran and South Africa and Israel, I suppose. And we're already off to the races. So, I shall continue with our read-through of this document. You have me for 22 more minutes. Then, you can sleep, go watch TurtleBoy. Oh, did you know Havana sent me this very nice TurtleBoy sweatshirt. I saved one for Nikki, okay? I don't know. I think she will watch. I think she said she felt TurtleBoy was framed, so I think she'll wear it. She thinks Karen Reed was framed and TurtleBoy is being unjustly persecuted, if you were wondering where Towel Girlfriend Nikki stands on those issues. But anyway, I got his and hers from Havana. It was a really nice gift. I think they're really comfy. So, anyway, I just get, like, clothes these days. They're great. People send me clothes. Oh, actually, let me do a quick advertisement for my book. So, I wrote a book. Now, I want to be clear. This is a first draft, okay? It is a first edition. It indicates very clearly, okay, that it is a work in progress. What you are buying is basically like my research, okay? It is written as a narrative, those of you who heard it the other day. It is formally up on Amazon. Yes, you can buy Boss Tweed Days in Norfolk County. I wrote a book. Hello, Bunny Towel Mom. You are a towel. I did indeed. Your venerated host. I wrote a book. Buy Towel's new book here, okay? And then let me just get this title. So if you would like to support Towel, and it is available for free, okay? You can just get the Google Drive link on my social media. But if you would like to buy it, you can follow the link right there. You know, as well, I'll show you the towel shop. I know, I've done such a good job. I'm really turning into Towel Shopping Network. It's great. If you go to towelnewsnetwork.com, I'll also show you some of the merch you can get. I heard Bunny Towel Mom's apron came in. It's adorable. It's pink. It's great. I have a picture of it. I can't wait to share it. It's great. But for now, I wanted to... What was it that I wanted to show? Not the towel show. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? So to make it easier for people to help people find the book, I'm going to make a new command right now for you where you can do !book to help people find the book. I know. Isn't that great? I'm a genius. All right. All right. There you go. So if you do book... Oh, thank you so much to Jay Callahan. I used to wake up sore in the bad places as a child and completely groggy. And I always felt dirty as a kid without memory. The family member was friends with the DA, not Morrissey, but same state. You know, wait, what's going on? Hold on. What is going on? Why are you making me all mad? Come on now. Oh, it's my browser. Give me 1 second. Towel computer's getting all mad. Give it 1 second. Towel computer's getting all mad. Which is my fault. I've been a little mean to it. Only your comments are frozen. Everybody else is fine. But yeah, I froze my browser. I made it all mad. Which is kind of a... Well, no, I don't want to wait. I want you to just reload my damn comments. No, it froze the whole tab. Really? You froze my whole tab? Alright, it's going to reload for us. Right as I was showing people how to do the book comment, too, I was all excited. We will finish the Epstein files tomorrow, but I said I was going to try to close up before 9, and I'm going to do that. So I got like 18 minutes to talk to you, and we will be back together this week. We have about 3 more Farwell motions to complete before we're fully caught up on that record. And then we have, I think, no motions ahead of the Rosemary hearing on Thursday, but I will be in court for that. And then we also have, let me see, what is coming up? We have the sentencing of Marios Miliakis on September 8th, and then the Farwell trial starting October 5th. Now, I have put a lot of things in place for coverage of the Farwell trial while I'm waiting for your comments to reload. One of the things that I put in place, I guess I could just use my phone to read them. One of the things that I put in place was a mobile internet hookup. Good thing that I did so, because it took a long time to make that order happen. Can I have my comments back, please? My computer slowed down so much. That was very unfortunate, but your comments should be coming back soon. Wonder if it's an issue with the actual back end. Can I see them on my phone? Let's see. Alright, that's my channel. I am live now. Yes. Why is this being so annoying? I'm getting all mad. Just load up my comments. I want to see them. Alright, fine. Wait, I can't... Is something going wrong with YouTube? I can't see them on my phone either. The stream's working, but I can't get comments to load up on my phone or on the back end. That's weird. Never had that happen before. Well, at least the stream's working. I just feel so lonely. I don't know what to do. Okay, I just want to see my comments. Where'd they go? This was like the time we could only talk. Oh, they're back. That was so weird. I couldn't get my comments to load. I could get the stream to load, but I couldn't get my comments to load on the phone. And they're not even really like loading on the back end. I don't know what's going on here. It's a little weird. I wonder if everything's okay with YouTube. I mean, the stream is fine. I just can't get my comments to load. I feel so alone. Well, I guess I don't feel as alone as when we could only talk in Morse code. That was kind of hilarious. Okay, we're back. Hello, Talibon Bunny. Okay, we're back. I can't get the comments to load on desktop, but I think they're slowly coming back. So if you sent a super chat, God bless you. Jackie, thank you so much for your support. I'm gonna leave you. Oh, it didn't let me leave a comment, but I did leave a heart. And Jay Callahan, absolutely. God bless you. Thank you both so much for your support. Your comments are back, ladies and gentlemen. Your comments are back. Good job. I'm proud of you all. Excellent job. Excellent job. I'm sorry about that. That was for the first time ever. That was not a towel error. Everything was working just fine. I thought it was my browser at first. Nope. The comments just were not working for a minute. They're back. I felt so alone. But if you missed it, there were 2 comments that, well, I don't want to actually risk it right now because it took so long to get those comments back. I'm just going to leave it alone. Thank you both for your super chat. I'm going to try to actually scroll up if it will let me, although I don't want to make it made. That seemed to have made it very made. But my name is Grant Smith Ellis, so feel free to take a look at the book. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you do read it, it's a very substantial collection of material. Okay, takes a long time to read. It's worth it though. I'll give you a little preview. Do I have my EPUB reader? Let me get my EPUB reader. All right, and so I think that will give you some sense of what it will look like. And yeah, I just feel so lonely without my comments. All right, so EPUB reader. All right, so that's the towel book. Feel free to take a look at it on Amazon. Can I please have my towel comments back? I have never had this much problem before with my towel comments. But let me show you the EPUB reader so I can show you what it looks like. Alright. When you get the ebook, it's kind of cool. I did my best, alright, with my towel resources to format it. I'll try to do updated editions as well. There is an ISBN number that's assigned, so hopefully this will get cataloged and all that good stuff. So when you get the book, Amazon has its own e-reader, all right? You'll be able to do that. And then from there, you can actually go through chapters, okay? You can see the dedication for the truth, whatever it turns out to be. For Nikki, she always believed in me. But really, it's dedicated to so many of you for your enduring support of Towel Channel. I'm very grateful to all of you in more ways than I can express, and I thank you for being you and for your support. There's an author's note, okay? Notes that there's a work in progress. I don't know how this did this. This was also broken at first, but I fixed it. The Kindle, making an EPUB is actually very difficult. It's different than formatting a regular book. But what's really nice is I did this by hand, okay? When you click on the left, you can quite literally go to each chapter, all right? So it's interactable. This is just an online EPUB reader, all right? But when you click it on the Kindle, it will take you to each chapter, and then you can read it like that. And I think it came out really well. Hey, there we go. All right. Everybody's comments are back. Good job, everyone. And there's the comment from Jacqueline. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate you all. And I'm so sorry about that slight towel chat delay. All right, so you got me for 10 more minutes, all right? Then we will be back, and we will see each other tomorrow. I'll be a well-rested towel. I'm glad we got to see each other today, even on my weekend off. I think it was an important news update. But yeah, so I'd love to hear what you think about the book. And then let me just show you the towel shop. Maybe that was what made it all made. So you can visit towelnewsnetwork.com. You also, if you, the goal of this service and the goal of what I do here is to educate, inform, and entertain. We got another super chat. Oh, we've more than hit our goal. It says, "Shine on you, crazy," and I'll look at the full name here. "Shine on you, crazy diamond." Oh, what a great username. "Hi, Grant. Greetings from Germany. For me, you're one of the best investigative journalists around. Is it possible to get your book in Germany? It is sadly not listed on the Big A in the German store. I will check into that, and for now, I will include a PDF copy for free right here. God bless you. You're so wonderful, and you have a great username. Let me get you a free PDF copy right now. All right. Let me just go to my drive, and then I'll include that in the link right there. All right, so now the PDF is not as good, obviously, as the Kindle. The Kindle forces you to format it. This is also a first draft. When I did the Kindle version that had the ISBN, I made some small, I wouldn't say formatting changes, but I fixed some of the line spacing. The Kindle version actually caused 3 spelling errors by combining words that were not initially combined in my document, so I had to fix those. But yes, God bless you, and hold on, where's my comment? Yes, here is a free ebook copy. God bless you. And then just go ahead and follow that Google Drive link. Four Cats Chrissy said, sent you some stuff, and also in the book, something, is the book something I can get printed or just e-reader? I jumped out real quick. Okay, so I need to, a few things. The way that I did this was, when you have ISBNs and you're going to do editions of a book, first of all, God bless you. We more than met our chat goal, by the way, so you're all getting goat videos before we go. When you, so when you have an ISBN and you're going to do editions, you can choose what to assign the ISBNs to. This ISBN is just this ebook. My plan, and I do have to talk to some different people, is to expand this work. If people want it printed as sort of the first edition and they want to have that, I'm going to do that. In order to do that, I have to take all the documents that are linked in the book and add them at the end as an appendix. Then I have to take that file and I have to submit it to the service that will publish it in that form. Amazon will do that, and then you can buy a printed copy. Where this is going, I have some other stuff going on, so I don't have time to. Tripoli Bob did say he would be my literary agent, though, which is epic. I don't have time to actually sit and process where this is going to go. My plan is to take this and turn it into a long-form investigative book. So that, the way that will be printed, that will probably come out at the same time as an ebook and in print. But that is, first of all, I don't even know how the story ends. So I don't think you can write your process, but I don't think you can write the story without knowing where it ends. As a journalist, you have to know what happened in order to be able to explain. This is an explication of my process, and I explain it as such. If I'm going to write it and publish it and do I'd have to do a deal, I'd have to get in advance, I'd have to have it go through extensive copy editing, I'd have to have it go through a very formal publishing house. If I'm going to do that, then I will let you know at least 6 months ahead of time. That is the plan, but it is not the first thing. My Nana was lobbying me hard to make that my first priority, and I was like, Nana, I love you, dear. She was like, but you don't understand, Grant, I have to hold the book. I have to hold it. And I was like, Nana, I love you very much. For now, I'll get you the ebook. I'll print you a personal copy. I don't know how I'm going to do that. And then I'll get you it in print. But for now, we're going to go with the ebook. But yeah, it is on the table. I'd love to do it. I think it's important, but I'm not ready to actually go through that process yet. I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know exactly. I have some idea of what's going to happen, but I don't know exactly what's going to happen. And a lot of it, my job as a journalist although I do have very strong principles, my job is to present the factual record and then allow for decisions to be made. So, in some sense, if I were to do the style of piece that I want to do about all of this right now, it would impact the outcome. And that's not my job. I just read the documents. And then, wherever they may go, if I need to introduce the human element, I will talk to people. My job is not necessarily to impact how history plays out. Sometimes I make sure bad people don't subvert history, but I just tell it. Really, all this is just right out of the newspapers again. All I did was change the words. All right. With that said, thank you all for your support. There were all these comments. They weren't loading. I was like, where are you all? I had to click the down button. Thank you all for your support. If you enjoyed what you saw today, the mission to educate, inform, and entertain, 20% entertainment to insulate your brain from trauma, 40% education, 40% information. You can donate, you can support, you can get me a coffee, you can get me a snack, you can get me a lunch. There's a Cash App, # Grant Smith Ellis. There's a Venmo at Grant-E1. There's a PayPal, paypal.me/Grant Ellis. Please don't donate if it would be a burden. Please don't donate if it would take food away from you or those you care about or your animals. That would make me all sad. Or causes that are important to you. Other ways to support include, as I mentioned, towelnewsnetwork.com. That'll take you right to the towel shop. Now, if you've never seen the towel shop, I'm not really a towel Vanna-White, but, I think Kofi wants me to become a towel Vanna-White. I can't wait to share Bunny's picture. I know I asked already, but I'm going to ask her again, and I want to share it on the next stream because she got her apron. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. She got the pink one. It came out absolutely beautiful. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I literally can buy an apron with the Towel News Bunny on it. Yes. He's our channel mascot. Oh, by the way, he's right here. He's traveling with me. Come here, Pete. This is the channel mascot, okay? Now, I've had him for about 12 years. He started showing up about 3 years ago on the channel. He would come around. His friend Francine loves to say hello, all right? Oh, thank you, Pat Ray. Good to see you. Colin Driscoll, good to see you. I'm excited. Hi, Tiffany Bob. It's so good to see you as well. I worked with Internet Archive on stuff like that, and now they are letting lawyers make decisions out of caution about things that were... Rocco's Life, you should send me an email. Did you know I gave a speech at the Internet Archive? You can look it up at Aaron Schwartz Day. It was really good. Oh, shine on you, Crazy Diamond. I'm so glad you commented again. I forgot to give you your towel wrench, and you have such a wonderful username. And by the way, if you have any feedback on my book, if you do read it, the free version, the paid version, whatever, grantsmithellis@gmail.com. I'm a little behind on emails, okay? So please do not ever feel bad if you send an email. My friend Roturo, for example, I'm sending him some Argentinian World Cup jerseys. I forgot to reply to his email, but I've actually since got him like 7 more Argentinian jerseys for his class. He's a teacher in Fiji. So I'm going to send him like 12 Messi jerseys because I went around and bought 75% off ones that I could find. There weren't a lot of Messis. So, yeah. I'm not the best at responding to emails, but do know I do see them. I set aside a little bit of time on Saturdays when I have it to reply to emails. If you get an email from me outside of Saturday, I'm either on the ball or like you caught me like while I'm laying in bed and the email popped up on the phone while I'm like reading Twitter before I get out of bed. All right? So it is never personal. I'm not ignoring you. That is the quickest way to reach me. If you send me a Facebook message, if you message me on Twitter, if you message me on Instagram or LinkedIn, I might see it, depending on what I'm doing that day. But there is no guarantee, especially Facebook, because it routes messages to this folder that doesn't send alerts. So I have to manually go in, and there's so many of them. And you may have something that's really important, but it's just going to go in a folder with just every other message. And I will try to clear it, but I'm very behind. And nobody can I can't have an assistant because I'm the only one that can read these material. They're my sources. So I don't let anyone else do it. I do it by hand personally. All right, it's the top of the hour. Oh, I sold it. Someone else bought a towel apron? You all are wonderful. I was like, Bunny, see, the apron, I made it just for Bunny. So I thought Bunny was the only one that was going to get it. Someone else got one, Bunny. You started a trend. Listen, Bunny's going to start a club, and Kofi's going to be invited. All the people that have the aprons, the Towel News apron, they're going to go and just wear their aprons together. They're going to be the Towel News Bunny Apron Club. It's a secret club, though. Peep's actually in charge. Yeah. Yeah, right, exactly, Bunny. I have no idea. You have a twin out there somewhere. I bet it's Talmon Lynn. She would definitely be into that. Tippecanoe. Thank you, Kevin from South Boston. I would be remiss if we didn't do Tippecanoe and Tyler 2 before I got out of here. All right, let's go. Top of the hour. So this is where I do the U.S. presidents in order to test my mental acuity at the end of the stream. Shout out my friend Triplet Bob. He's a super towel. Here we go. President Washington, President Adams, President Jefferson, President Madison, President Monroe, President Adams Jr., President Jackson, President Van Buren, then William Henry Harrison. I don't know 10. 11 and 12 is Tippecanoe and Tyler 2, so that's going to be Polk, and then Taylor, and then 13 is going to be Millard Fillmore. He's a bit of an odd duck. Then it's Pierce Buchanan, Lincoln Johnson Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison Cleveland, McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. There you go. If you learned something today, if you benefited from today's stream, if you want to pay it forward, do consider a donation to our homeless vets or our service members or their families. They serve to help us, and there should not be one veteran or service member homeless in the United States against their will, ladies and gentlemen, or we have failed as a society. You can help them today. Do consider a donation. You can also consider a donation to animal shelters run by our vets or service members that help either of those groups. It's a great way to help our furry friends. Peep's not an animal, but he does love them. It's a great way to help our service members and veterans. If you can't find such a shelter, do consider a donation to animal shelters in general. Great way to help our furry friends. They can't speak for themselves. They need your help. If you are in the UK, a great charity to donate to is The Big Issue. Great way to help populations experiencing homelessness in the UK. They can't yell on the street corners anymore when selling their papers, but you can donate to their organization directly. It doesn't have to be a donation, though. It can be something as simple as smiling at someone on the street, reaching out to a friend or family member you haven't heard from in a while, or yes, even giving away 200 tomato plants like Francis Futrell did one time and having them designated honorary towels during the outro forevermore. In that way, ladies and gentlemen, may we pray the current realpolitik continues to shift from one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our power to instead one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our capacity to engage in small acts of service and kindness rooted in unconditional love. Therein allowing us to live up to our tau eudaimonia or summum bonum, our greatest good in the ancient Greek or Latin respectively, and in turn bring about a new digital epic defined by Aquarius the water bearer standing tall and carrying a towel. Now, I don't know if I set the chat goal too short. I don't know if I set it too long. I don't know if I started it before the stream, but you all get a bonus. Before we get out of here, I love this country very much. I love our dear animals, and you all love goat videos. So for those of you who stuck around, Kofi's going to be very, very excited. I have some very special goat videos, yes indeed. I have videos of goats to goat video before you go. It's not just any goat, though, ladies and gentlemen. It is our goats, the original goats who were displaced on March 9th, 2026, from their home in South Lebanon. Okay, we used our OSINT skills and Kofi's nose, good job Kofi, to track and save the goats. Okay, we refused, ladies and gentlemen, to stop until the 1 million people and the goats who were displaced from South Lebanon were able to return to their homes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wow. Did you know that the man who posted the goat video follows me? He's a journalist from Syria. And apparently, he must have heard about the goat video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, he must have heard about the goat video. Can we please have our goat video? What is going on here? Where's my goat video? Can I have my goat video, please? Yes, there's my goat video. All right, here you go. You all did an excellent job. Here's your goat video. Yeah, I think this journalist heard about the goats. Oh, we're having a frame drop, that's why. All right, let's go. Here comes the best part. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, that's a baby goat on a horse. Look at it. Yep, the journalist definitely knows that this goat video is worldwide famous. Like, everybody loves this goat video. You don't understand. All right. God bless the goats. Just joining in. Didn't see the notification, but it seems like more and more is coming out with Epstein. I vote for goats. Absolutely, FBI ice cream truck. Pat Ray got in trouble with Nightbot. Bunny and Kofi, have a great night. I'm going to bed. I love you all dearly. God bless these United States of America. May God bring us a better tomorrow. It is indeed morning in America. And ladies and gentlemen, the sun may cast a shadow as the dawn rises. But we will soon, once again, reach high noon. God bless each and every one of you. My name is Grant Smith Ellis for Towel News, youtube.com/@Grant Smith Ellis. It's 9:07 p.m. Eastern here in a very balmy 69 degrees Fahrenheit, Boston, Massachusetts, on Sunday, August 23rd, 2026, the year of our Lord. It is 3:07 a.m. in South Africa. It's 4:07 in Tel Aviv, Israel, and it's 4:37 a.m. in Tehran, Iran, as the sun rises on another day in the Middle East and Africa. God bless you all. May you be well. May God protect us all. May God protect these United States of America. And until we see each other again, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever the case may be. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being with me. God bless you all. And prayers for my friend Pick a Handle, who I've been thinking about every day, and I'm going to try to find an email to send to them. I don't know if I have their email, but if you hear me, Pick a Handle, I've been praying for you, my dear friend, and I hope you're okay. Good night, and God bless you.